Welcome back to Queen City Clash, and we have two strong teams finding themselves in the losers bracket currently. Bowling Green State versus Penn State University. Bowling Green State, hot off of a map 5 against Brooktail Esports, finding themselves closing out that game. Penn State, the 1 seed, actually dropping down to the losers bracket and wanting to put up a good showing versus this BGSU team.
Yeah, you can say it was a bit of a reversal. I believe Penn State did lose to Champlain in our winners bracket. They did have a bye first round as well, so that was their first game of the tournament. Maybe they just weren't warmed up. Bowling Green did just get out of a map 5. They were playing Brookdale, so that was a close match. They're probably a little warmed up. They're probably a little tired from that one too.
Certainly warm, but certainly exhausted. So first map, Lijiang, we've seen a couple of bans on both sides. I believe it was Penn State banning Lucio and Bowling Green banning Tracer.
Yep, so I think that probably means that Penn State wants to lean maybe more towards a Brig Juno backline. And I'm not really sure. It looks they probably want to brawl inside of BGSU as well. So we're probably going to get a bit of a... so it looks like that ban is wrong on the lobby, so we're just going to restart the code real quick. But yeah, so it looks like both teams are probably going to lean for more of a brawl style here. Do you think Penn State's going to run out with the Zarya? I know that they're famous for that one. They've run a bit of Maga as well.
We will see. First map that was shown there was Garden. I don't know if they'll end up restarting to Garden or not. Mistake in the lobby happens, but Penn State definitely does seem to like their Zarya comps. Seen some different showings from them though throughout the day on the couple other streams that we've had of them. I've seen some Maga, some Diva, so.
Yep, and BGSU likes their Ramatra, at least based on what they were playing in their map 5 against Brookdale. They like playing that a lot. They like their Torbjorn a lot. They might have learned that one from us. We're a Victoria team as well. So I do like that pick into the Maga, but Torbjorn into the Zarya might be a little tough. So we'll see what both teams run out on again. It looks like we are going to go to Garden first again. So I'm looking for, it's probably going to be a brawl matchup this map, most likely. Probably some Brig Juno getting played by at least one side.
We have seen some double hit scan looks with the Ramatra out of Bowling Green State University as well. And there we might find themselves getting punished by this quite aggressive Penn State team.
Yeah, Penn State does like to go. They're always in your face. They don't hate their slow comps as well, though, with the Zarya. So they do have two pretty strong archetypes. Bowling Green, I've seen a lot of Ram out of them. Really haven't seen many other tanks. I didn't catch the whole of their best of 5 against Brookdale, but it was a close match. But they were able to full cap Shambali last map, so they had a good showing then. So they're pretty warmed up. So we'll probably see Ramatra into either Zarya or Maga here.
They are coming in as the 5 seed as well into the tournament, so certainly nothing to scoff at. I believe they went 4-2 in qualifiers. Penn State, I believe, went 6-0 undefeated during the split stage qualifiers. So competitive matchup here in Bowling Green State looking to upset.
Yeah, as far as I know as well, I believe both teams do scrim 4-5, so they do play against a pretty similar caliber of teams. So honestly, I think this match could go either way, just depending on whoever is warmed up today, whoever is catching fire.
Yeah, the LAN so far has been a lot of close matchups, and it does seem like whoever ends up getting hot is going to end up taking this tournament. This is just day 1 after all, and so tomorrow we will have much more action as well. A couple more games today going on.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited to see how this one goes. This will be a best of 5 because we are in the losers bracket. So we'll get a good match here. I hope it doesn't go fast 3-0. You know, we always want to get some good matches here. So a 3-2 would be pretty cool.
That would be great.
It is a little surprising, though, to see Penn State down this early. Them getting upset by Champlain definitely was not on my bingo card. I didn't think that was going to happen. They did walk in 6-0. They looked like a very fierce team, especially with their tank player.
Well, Champlain did come in as, I want to say 7 or 8 seed, but they did not get many stream. I don't think they got streamed in qualifiers, so perhaps coming in as a bit of a dark horse and taking down the 1 seed. Champlain, pretty good showing so far, but this game here, both teams fighting for their spot in the tournament.
Yeah, it looks like right now Bowling Green is hovering that Ramatra as we predicted. They are playing the Torb as well. The Torb might be kind of hard in Zarya. She's going to get a lot of charge in this kind of composition. So I'm going to want to see. I'll probably want them to play kind of slow, honestly, into the Zarya, try to poke her out a bit before they engage.
Penn looks State like they're promptly swapping over to the Zarya. Maybe having scouted some looks from the map 5 before. Akioto finding a quick kill on Sejuno. Yeah. Flying out in the middle of space there and getting taken down early.
I do like the Pharah pick into this comp. It's going to be really hard. It's going to be a lot of pressure on Bold Fontman to take him down as that Sojourn, but it's not really consistent damage that you can have onto that Pharah. So it's going to be kind of tough. I don't think that we did walk out on Ana. So Ana nades are going to be pretty nice in some Roger comp, but Bowling Green did walk out on the Curie, so at least they have Suzus for that.
Yeah, certainly. This far is going to be the point of contention on this map. Bold Fontman is going to have to spend quite a bit of attention, but Bryson will be able to get quite a bit of care from Big Bum and Quinn. You might want to see a Tracer coming out from the side of Bowling Green, able to pressure that backline a little bit more.
Yeah, I like that Tracer idea. Probably a pretty good character into what they're playing. They're going to have to play a lot, probably to just shoot Zarya, honestly. Not going to be able to win this without taking down that tank. It looks like Bold Fontman does go down early to Akioto, though.
Oversteps in. Penn State promptly holding the point here. Has controlled, making sure not to flip the point. Then comes out from the side of Bowling Green, and seems like the Ramatra comp is bleeding versus the Zarya poke.
Yeah, they're going to have to be careful taking these really long fights. As that Zarya builds charge, she's going to get more and more damage going. You can see she's already 90 to grab. She has more ult charge than the entirety of BGSU aside from that Kiri who's building that rush fast. We do have several ults coming up online for Penn State. They have almost both support ults and grab. They have clock as well and far ults coming out mid-fight too. Swap over to Venture on the side of BGSU. How do you feel about that swap?
Venture and Winston on the side swapping. It seems like they're wanting to punish that weaker backline a little bit. But the grab does come out. Gets 4. Suzu'd early, but...
That was really good follow-up by the side of Penn State. Yeah, it looks like that's probably going to be a fight win there. It's good to note that they did use the rush while they were in that grab as well. They almost lived it. It was close. We'll see if the Winston's able to get any trades here. He's just kind of staggering out, though. I think he just needs to die fast. He does. Yep. So that's kind of a bad stagger. They only get one fight left here, and they only have Juno ult for it.
Yeah, if you're this side of Penn State, you have several ults coming into this fight, knowing that BGSU is not coming up on many. They do have that Juno ult, so they might be able to find some early point pressure, get that Juno ult on point, perhaps find a flip. But you have Nano Barrage, you have Nano Clock.
Yeah, they're just playing a lot of ults here. This is going to be a really hard fight on the side of BGSU. They ring early. Looks like they're trying to get their Winston onto point. They're going really fast.
Yuri teleports in. Suzu's dives to the barrage.
That was a good barrage by the side by Penn State. Looks like it is a 3v4 on point, but there's still no ults online. Looks like they have the Juno ult going, though. They might be able to turn this. We'll see.
And if they don't find any kills during this Juno ult, Bold Fontman picking up one with Clock. Gransko trading out the Ana.
Point. It's just the Zarya and the Pharah alive. BGSU might have actually turned this fight. That's a really big fight when they were playing into 4 ultimates. They were able to turn it with just Juno ult and Clock being used.
And BGSU finding themselves back in this map, coming up on a couple more ults. Their ult economy is still looking better than the side of Penn State after that ult fight.
Penn State is making the swap over to break. I do think I like that swap. It's really good into the Winston, and it's pretty good into the Venture as well. Key thing to note now is the Primal on the side of BGSU. That's the only ult that's currently in play, but the fast pick on MVP by Akioto. He's been doing a really good job of finding picks.
He's finding this Juno quite often, maybe flying out into space too often, but Akioto finding that shot.
Another kill on the Bold Fontman. And down goes Karma. That's a 5v2 on point now. Venture's 1 HP. It's just up to Gransko. We'll see if he's able to turn this fight. He's got a lot to work here, though. He has to stable this point. That's a good... I like that disengage. You can maybe get healed up and get a touch through window. Grab gets used.
Grabs the window. He gets the touch, but...
I don't think it's going to be enough on the side of BGSU. Sombra touch? Juno touch? Yeah. Juno goes down early. Sombra's down as well, and that's going to be the first point.
First point going over to Penn State in this best of 5.
Yep, that was a pretty one-sided showing, to be honest. I think that's more of a comp matchup. I think overall Penn State's comp was just better. BGSU seemed like they were kind of lost. They didn't really know what to do into the Pharah. I didn't really like the Venture swap. I don't think Venture does all that much in that composition. She can't really help with Zarya or with Pharah, and Zarya's pretty good into Venture because you can bubble those engages from the Venture.
It's really hard. If the Ana's playing correctly and the Soldier's playing correctly, you are not going to find yourself on top of them as Venture far too often. At the end of the day, while that all is going on, you have Pharah poke coming from every single angle on the side of Legion Garden. Yeah,
it looks like Bowling Green is hovering Baptiste right now. I don't really know how I feel about that. We'll see if he walks out on it, but it's not exactly a great hero to put here, I don't think. He's kind of fallen behind in terms of the perks meta, where he doesn't get a ton of value of it. We'll see if they walk out on it. It looks like they are going to walk out on it. That's an interesting swap. Usually, Baptiste likes to play in slower compositions, but they're running Winston with it, so it's kind of 2 different ideas. They are playing a very slow comp. I don't know what the idea of the Winston here is, though.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on the side of BGSU, maybe you're looking to play this as more brawly. You have the Juno, you have the Baptiste. We did see the Juno Baptiste coming out in their previous series against Brookdale, but you're facing a different caliber of team here, and Penn State.
Yeah, I think they might be playing the Winston because of the Zarya. They just kind of think Winston counters Zarya, so they're just playing it. They might not be thinking much deeper than that. May goes really low, though, on the side of Penn State. Winston gets anti. Grants goes 1 HP. They are able to find him. Karma finds Quinn, though. That's a good Juno trade. We'll see if they're able to win this 4v4. This is where scraps turn. This is how teams win in a scrap kind of fight.
Penn State getting a quick re-engage after the monkey goes down. BGSU is playing that pretty well given the comp differential. They were able to cross across Night Market there quite easily.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised, honestly, that Penn State won first fight just based on comps. I'm not a huge fan of that Bowling Green comp. They, like you mentioned earlier, they do like their double hit scan, but I think that Winston's trying to play for a completely different win condition from the rest of the roster.
Certainly. And you see the Nano already online and coming out onto Winston.
It had to be used to save Winston. He was 1 HP. Bryson went down as well. That was a lot of damage coming out.
He has a solid re-engage, and Baptiste is caught out in the mid.
This is definitely a turnable fight. Winston gets slept, though. That's a great sleep by Big Bone.
Slept in the back. Can they kill Winston?
Bold Fontman finds his counterpart. They're continuing
Winston
to engage.
falls over, and
Bob finds another on point. We'll see if they're able to stable this. That was a good stable on the nade. They are able to get the flip.
And they are actually finding a whole lot of value out of this monkey. Without much to blow up the monkey on the side of Penn State, he is holding quite a bit of space, which is allowing their hit skins to walk up and actually hit shots on the back line.
And look at how many ults Bowling Green has coming up as well. They have like 4 ults coming up this fight, whereas Penn State only has 2. We'll see how much value they are able to get out of this grab, though. Both DPS ults and grab. Watson falls to 1 HP, is able to get the mega. Gransko, careful not to overstep there. Knows he can't exactly get in that deep. That's a fast grab.
Grab comes out, but the lamp is...
That's a fat nade following up on the follow-up, though. So he's able to take out the M-Ward, but it's a 3v3. Bob is able to turn this 3v2. Bob gets 3. Let's see if he's able to maybe get the 5k. On his 1 HP as well in the Mega. Karma's able to find the Zarya, and it's just Big Bum left on the side of Penn State. He's not going to be able to turn this one, unfortunately.
That's grab out from the side of Penn State. You're pretty happy with that if you're on Bowling Green, but support ults are coming online for the side of Penn State. Multiple ults in the DPS category, May ult and the Sojourn ult. Might see that on the retake here. A couple of them taking their left lane.
I kind of want to see a fast engage on the side of Bowling Green. Looks like they did get in fast with that Winston. He has primal, so I want him to stay in. That's a great clock from Bold Fontman. He's able to find Bryson very quickly. They're continuing to regress into the spawn. The primal gets popped in spawn. It's 5v4. We'll see if they're able to find anything here. If not, it might be a bit of an overstep, though, with the amount of ults that they've used. They kind of have nothing left in the tank.
Yeah, and you do see the Juno speed ring for the disengage, but it might be far too little too late.
Bryson makes the swap over the Torbjorn. I think that's a pretty good swap for the Winston, but he does get outranged by hit scans. So we'll see how they're able to make it work. Looks like Juno gets used from the side of Penn State. And it's a pretty good kite. Oh, Evan falls down to the clock. They still have Nano as well to keep this fight going on the side of Penn State. They need to win this fight, though. It is 93%. They do win it.
Yeah, Evan getting caught in rotation there. It seems like they had several disengaging to point, but Evan getting caught outside by the Mega. If you were on Penn State here, going into this fight with Nano, probably looking to Nano just neutral in the Zarya and walk on this Juno Baptiste backline.
Yeah, he has 70 charge. He's going to be a bit of a problem this fight. Bob is coming up close to that noon, but it's not really going to probably get too much value into this. I think they should get a Nano going kind of soon, but you want to play this kind of slow if you can on the side of Penn State. Oh, Akiyuto goes down. I think they need to use Nano at some point. Try to turn this.
Kiting back to point. Perhaps giving a little bit of time for Akiyota to get back.
Nano gets used onto Watson. We'll see if he's able to find anything here. Newton gets used from Bob,
and
but
completely burned by the Nano.
Gransko is able to find the Juno, though, and that's a big grab from Watson on the Baptiste. Bowling Green is falling over. Gransko 1 HP. We'll see if they're able to find anything here. Akiyota is able to win against his counterpart, and that's everyone down from the side of Bowling Green. That was a must-win fight for Penn State.
Certainly. Juno ult on this side of BGSU coming out for this fight. Might be able to get in here, but it looks like Penn State is looking to close hold, hopefully not letting them take their ults.
Penn State has to take this fight early. They are definitely at an ult disadvantage here. If you let them get out with that Juno ult, it's going to be kind of scary, especially with the window. If Evan is able to get an angle with that window. Gransko is 1 HP and purple. He might be over something. He needs to get touched soon, though.
The bubble lands on top.
He does get the Juno ult, though. That's a scary jump into 4 people. He's able to live, though. We'll see if the supports are able to carry him. They have the clock active from Bold Fontman. See if he's able to find anything.
And he sustains here, finding Winston early.
That is such a good kill
almost online.
Yeah, if he's able to build that primal, this is probably going to be point. Torbjorn outside. Let's see if Bold Fontman's able to get him. Sojourn on point as well, 1 HP. Bob finds Bryson. Sojourn goes down to Evan, and that is the point for Bowling Green.
And a good adaptation by the side of Bowling Green. I think if you're Penn State here, this monkey is a bit of an issue. He's finding a lot of value in the sense that he is able to neutral jump in and draws attention of 3 to 4 people, but does not die for it. And that is what is allowing the rest of Bowling Green's comp to actually operate properly here. So maybe if you're on the side of Penn State, maybe you want to go with a Zarya Reaper angle of some sort and should be able to force out that Monkey a bit earlier and actually get on those people that are over-aggressing once Monkey jumps in.
Yeah, Torbjorn does a very similar thing to Reaper where he's trying to burn the tank, but he gets out-poked a lot by the hit scans. So I like you said, I think Reaper's a pretty good swap here. I'm surprised at how well the Baptiste was working, though. He kind of forced grab on him every time, and they were living a lot of fights that they shouldn't have because of that Immortality field.
And that's how they were playing versus Brookdale versus the Remix Junkrat as well. That LAN finding so much value against these high-impact ults like Graviton Surge and Tire.
So it looks like Penn State is going point side, or Bowling Green is going point side. Penn State is playing stage. I think stage is a pretty good spot to play. Grandsco falls 1 HP already and has his bubble used. Grandsco's still falling. We'll see if he's able to get carried. They are able to stabilize, and it looks like Penn State has point prior right now.
Certainly, and that Zarya is getting charged up quite a bit so far. Bob getting called out in rotation. Some early poke, but they actually do make the adaptation and turn on the Monkey immediately, and he falls over.
Yeah, it looks like that's going to be fight from the side of Penn State. They had really good positioning pre-fight there. They were able to get stage control, and because they have that Winston, it's really hard to dislodge them. They don't have a brawl tank that necessarily thrives in that small kind of area, so that's just kind of a better spot for Penn State's comp to play. Walston, you can see he's already 55 on Grav. He's doing so much damage on the Zarya right now. Bryson put in a lot of work too, 55 on his ult as well.
And this composition, I do like the swap over to the Ramatra. This map of Legion Control Center has sneaky long angles, so if you are able to actually kite, the Monkey is not going to get much value unless he jumps in.
Yeah, it looks like Bold Fondman does go down early. That was a great purple from the side of Big Bum. Sleep on the Ramatra as well. We'll see if they're able to get that kill as well. Bowling Green needs to be careful not to stick out here. Looks like they are going to get a disengage. Evan falls late, but he looks like he might get, he doesn't catch the respawn wave, so that's another 5 seconds off the clock there. Wanston has Grav online. Bryson has Torvald online as well.
And if you're on the side of Bowling Green, this being one of the harder points to retake in the game, you are also at an ult disadvantage. How do you approach this retake? Do you want to send one of your hit scans on an angle, potentially find something in the backline?
I think you kind of need to, especially with the Ana switch on the side of Bowling Green. You need to get your Ana set up so she's able to find a nade. Looks like they are opting to fight for stage, which not a terrible idea with the Ramatra comp, but because they have so much charge on the Zarya, it's kind of scary. Looks like Bob is going for a flank on the Cassidy though, but it might be a little too late as most of Bowling Green falls pre-fight.
Bob finding himself in the backline, and they're just kiting to stagger this guy, but he's finding a couple.
That's just a scary play. They really need to turn on this guy. He's been a problem in the backline, and they do find him. That was scary, though. Juno is going to be late spawn, but there you get staggered out. It's 80%. They're only going to get one fight here. Bob might not be there in time.
Yeah, and a lovely trade from Bob on that side. Swapping over to the Doomfist, I'm actually not sure about this. You don't want to find yourself winning this fight and then stuck on the Doomfist on the retake.
I think they had plenty of time to touch as well. They have Juno in order to get speedrunning the Ramatra on a point. He might just die. He's going to die pretty fast. He's playing around the Ana. That's scary.
Nano comes out onto Akioto.
It's such a large ult bank that you're playing into. Torvald gets used on point, and it looks like that's probably going to be the map. Yep, good overclock from Akioto. Is able to find 2. Bryson finds 2 with his ult, and that's the first point.
Penn State taking the first map of Lijiang Tower.
That's not too. So that's a lot of what we were expecting with both teams. Zarya was coming out from Penn State. Bowling Green is going to have to find an answer to that Zarya. She's doing a lot of work mid-fight, and it looks like she's always full charge. So she's doing really well at managing her bubbles. She's not really dying first. She's really hard to kill.
Certainly, and if you're on the side of Bowling Green, you have a couple options here. Clash is not in the map pool at Queen City Clash due to its being taken out of the competitive map pool. So you have your options of Hybrid, Escort, and Flashpoint. What map would you like to see them go to?
I think I'd probably go for more of an escort type, just based on them trying to play some Winston, and they like double hit scan. Double hit scan usually thrives in those longer lanes. It looks like Penn State wasn't really playing like a Genji. That's probably one of the best heroes that they could use to counter that double hit scan, because they're playing a very greedy backline with Bap Juno as well. Not a ton of sustain, so I'd want to see a flanker come out, probably like a Genji or a Tracer from Penn State, but they haven't shown that yet. So they might not be super comfortable in that kind of composition. So I think a longer map would probably be best, maybe even a dive map. Don't necessarily want to say dive map. I think escort overall as a map type as a map type is probably the best idea.
I would agree that escort does definitely favor the angle that BGSU is taking.
You could also
but
go for
Akioto with some very strong showings on the hit skin as well. Might be a little bit scary if you take them to a map state circuit.
Yeah, that would be scary, but I think it's probably worth the try. It doesn't seem like Bowling Green wants to play the Ramatra all too much. They gave it a whirl, but they were more leaning towards that Winston, and the Ramatra wasn't working too well. It was a late switch, though, so maybe give it a full map, see how it does. They do have it's a best of 5, so they have at least 3 maps to figure out what they want to do.
We do have to ask the question, though, is the Winston that they're favoring, is that an angle that they're taking specifically into the Zarya, or is that actually a comfort pick of theirs? We have seen much Ramatra from the side of Bowling Green State University.
Yeah, I think that Winston might have just been a CUC Azaria on the other side, and you're playing Winston, but it didn't really work well with the comp. So I'd want to see them. They did it eventually on third point, but I want to see them playing with an Ana on longer sight lines. I think that they might do pretty well in dive. Like I think a Gibraltar would be pretty good for double hit scan. Something they're able to open up. I don't think you really want to go to like a circuit. We'll see what map type they do end up going with though.
And they definitely were finding quite a bit of value on the Monkey on the map of Night Market, but it was a very quick adaptation by the side of Penn State once they lost that map.
And Penn State did a really good job of playing around the Winston too. They did lose a map point to it. Looks like they're going to Hybrid. That's an interesting pick. Maybe they want to try like a King's Row. Maybe they want to try a Blizzard World.
King's Row, very comfort map for a lot of teams here. I do think that it might be a bit of a trap into this Penn State team, often favoring a bunch of Raw. I think if you're BGSU, I want to see a Blizzard World here.
Yeah, Hollywood ban comes out from the side of Penn State. Looks like they don't want to play into that kind of dive, which it doesn't. They don't really have much of a Winston, based on what we've seen. So that's not too much of a surprise. We'll see what they go with. Yeah, they go with Blizzard World. I do like that pick as well.
Yeah, and that Blizzard World pick is going to favor the double hit scan on the side of Bowling Green State University. Zarya, with her newly acquired perks, actually a better character than you might think on Blizzard World, actually able to jump up to those high grounds mid fight on the second point.
Looks like they're going for an Ana ban from BGSU. I don't hate that. They didn't start Ana, so it's probably not a comfort pick for them. And the Ana was definitely a problem. She's hitting some really fat nades, especially on the back line. And that also enables Baptiste a lot because Ana is a very strong matchup into the Baptiste, so because she's able to prevent him from healing, and his entire kit is basically healing and just high damage. He doesn't really have much util outside of that. So that Ana ban is pretty good for the Baptiste if they want to favor something like that.
Certainly, and have yet to see the ban from the side of Penn State.
Yeah, this is a big decision to make. If you lose this map, you're suddenly 1-1 in a series, or you could be up 2-0, you could be on match point. So it's a very important ban. They can't ban support for it, obviously, because we are using OWCS rules, so they can't ban from the same role. We'll see what they opt to go for. I'd probably want to see like a Winston ban, something like that. Maybe you could go with like a Sigma, try to beat the poke kind of play style as well. But we'll see what they opt for. So it looks like it is going to be a Winston ban from the side of Penn State. I think I like that ban. With that Ana ban, kind of shows that maybe they want to find a squishy backline, and the Winston ban, that's what they were playing a ton of. I don't know what Bowling Green is going to bring here. Maybe they go with a Ramatra kind of style, a Simeon kind of style, play something a little bit more range, try to outrange the Zarya. It is key to note that Penn State is also a very strong Maga team. So they have two different archetypes they can play. So even though they did ban away that Ana, they could play a Maga comp, play it with some Big Juno. They definitely like their Big Juno. Maybe they bring out a Kiri, Juno Kiri, something like that with the Zarya. You could play either.
Who did they bring out that Maga comp versus?
I think it was against UCal Black that they played Maga. It was very strong in a dive. They were playing on Route 66. They were playing it defensively, and it looked pretty strong. They're also close holding Route 66, and it was really hard to beat. They have a very mechanical team, and their tank player is pretty strong as well. They do make some roster swaps sometimes. Bryson usually comes in to play that Maga, and Watson swaps over to DPS. He plays some Torb, he plays some hit scan, stuff like that. And when Watson's on tank, looks like he might be on tank this map. He usually plays a lot of Zarya. So Watson being on tank makes me think that they're probably gonna run Zarya, but maybe they have Bryson run tank this map.
Comms coming out in 5 seconds. Bans Winston and Ana.
It also makes Escort kind of scary. If one of these teams wants to go to Gibraltar, you can't ban away that Ana or that Winston anymore. Those are two of the best heroes on that map, and you just can't stop dive. I guess each team could ban the other of Winston and Ana that they didn't ban previously. But yeah, so it looks like right now Penn State is hovering that Zarya. They are running the Juno Kiri with the Torb Soj, so they have a very pokey kind of comp. They like to punish these long fights, so Bowling Green needs to be careful to take fast fights. If you let that Zarya get charged up, they have a lot of poke as well. The longer a fight goes, the scarier it gets.
Certainly. D.Va being hovered on the side of Bowling Green. Maybe some early scouting. Maybe they're actually looking to go with this comp. But if you're playing into a Zarya team like Penn State, maybe not so sure on the D.Va.
I really don't like this comp for Bowling Green if you're playing into Zarya. D.Va is a pretty bad matchup in Zarya. Obviously, haha, Zarya beats D.Va, but she kind of does. It makes it a big of a problem. We'll see if Grant switch swaps. Yeah, it looks like he's going back to spawn to go switch. The Lucio Juno isn't a terrible idea. Looks like they're opting to kind of play fast. I like the hazard swap. That's a pretty good swap. You have to be fast at hitting backline though. And you have to be careful of those Zarya bubbles on the backlines. So Wanson's gonna have to look to bubble his backline a lot more. He can't be as selfish as he usually is with these bubbles. See how he goes though. Looks like Bold Font Man tries to find a shot onto Akioto, who does fall though, but he falls low himself as well. It looks like that's a lot of space taken by Bowling Green already though.
A lot of space taken, but a lot of charge on Zarya as well. Sitting at 45 charge, and there's not really been a fight so far.
And she has both bubbles still ready as well, so it's going to be really hard for Bowling Green to find something. Hazard engages on the high ground. Looks like the solo engage. Karma goes down to Akioto. That's going to be a really hard fight now for Bowling Green. They have very little healing left in the tank.
And something interesting of note, Bowling Green being on the Juno Lucio, Evan BP was their Juno on the Lijiang Tower map, but now finding himself on the Lucio.
I believe he was Baptiste. I think it was Karma that was on Juno on Lijiang. So they didn't switch that around, but I do like the Lucio Juno style, although I kind of wish they had a flanking DPS to go with the Hazard. I think a Genji would be pretty good in this comp, maybe a Tracer. It's scary playing that into Zarya. She does kind of farm you, but I think you kind of have to engage on backline like that. They need to be careful to get these turrets down, so that's definitely a responsibility of both Fontman and the Lucio Evan. They need to get those turrets down before they're able to get good engages. Looks like Bryson does go low. Akioto 1 HP. We'll see if Bold Fontman's able to get anything here. But Watson has so much charge. Good pick found onto Bryson, but Bold Fightman goes down in return. Beat gets used by Evan. BP looks like they're committing to this fight. Quinn uses the Kutsuna Rush. We'll see if they're able to turn it. It's a 4v3 right now on point. Evan overstepping though, trying to fight the Zarya. It's a scary fight. Grab comes out from
Grab
Watson.
comes out, finds two.
Yeah, Juno comes out. We'll see if the Juno is able to sustain. Bowling Green is down both supports though. Clock gets used from the side of Penn State. I don't really know if you need that clock, honestly. They only had 2 people left, and they were down both supports. Grandsco finds Quinn though. We'll see if he's able to turn it. Yeah, he does fall. I'd like to see it. Yeah, good fast healing. I don't really know if they needed that clock. It was kind of a scary fight. You have a Hazard in your backline. That's a lot of pressure. But they're down both supports. You have a lot of sustain.
Hazard with the ability to one-shot someone, I don't really blame Akioto for using that clock there. But you might be wanting it back on this fight with BGSU coming up on several ults being Hazard, Torb, and Sojourn.
They don't have any support ults though, so I think you can take a pretty fast fight now with Juno ult. You definitely have really good sustain, but they only have the Juno ult. They're coming up on Torb ult. They have to be really careful with this. I think they need to get a fast fight win with that. Looks like Bold Fawman, they're going first on the side of BGSU, gets matched by the Juno ult. Hazard ult gets used. They are able to find a kill on a big one. That's one of the best picks that they can get. Watson is so scary though. Still has a bubble left, has full charge. He's just in on the backline. He's a problem. Juno's going to 1 HP.
They're playing around it well.
It's just Watson. I don't think he's going to be able to turn this. Despite how much damage he does, he can't 1v5.
And that Hazard comp was played extremely well on the side of BGSU. Zarya finding themselves on point without the jump perk yet, and actually unable to help out their high ground as Bowling Green State approached.
Yeah, that's exactly how Bowling Green needs to play this. They need to skip the Zarya. Doesn't matter how much charge she has, as long as she's not getting kills, you can kill the rest of her team. If she doesn't have LOS of them, because she's stuck on point, then she can't bubble them, can't save them, and she doesn't provide many resources to her team aside from those bubbles. So if you're able to skip her and maybe find a one-shot on the back line. I really like this break swap from Quinn. It's really good into the Hazard. Curie isn't a terrible character, but she doesn't provide as much sustain as that break does. Big graph coming out from Once. That's the second of the map. We'll see if they're able to find anything off this. They do. Bold Fightman goes down. Evan goes down. Hazard's going down as well. That's just a really good graph.
They did get some point pressure while this was happening, though, so that's good for the side of Bowling Green State. But you have to wonder, Juno Lucio, you have the ability to cross gaps very quickly, but there are some large gaps on the second point of Blizzard World.
Yeah, this is where it gets ugly. You either have to play from low ground and try to get a jump onto high ground, push cart, get a jump on high ground with your Hazard, or you have to take top left. If you're taking top left, that's a lot of spam you have to play into, and it's really hard for Juno Lucio to sustain that. Looks like they're doing a bit of a split. They're setting the Hazard high ground as Sojourn is on low ground.
They are pressuring cart right now.
Yeah, I believe it's Sojourn on cart. Beat gets used aggressively. I don't think they're able to find anything off of this, though. That might not have been a great beat. They're really deep, though. Bold Fireman does find Bryson off of it, but Karma is falling to 1 HP. As long as Karma's able to live, this is a good spot. Watson goes down as well. That's a great play from Grandsco
these
to find
kills
that.
is great on the side of Bowling Green here.
I think you want to get more people on cart right now. It looks like they are. Karma joins the Torbjorn on cart, joins Bob. They are getting some really good late picks here. Bold Fawman oversteps, though. I don't know if he didn't know where spawn was. He was
if you're able to find a touch here, this is really good here for Penn State, but they do not find a touch.
Grandsco stops the touch with the Hazard. We'll see if they're able to find the Torb as well. Torb falls to 50. Yeah, he's going to get staggered. They should stagger that. All right, I don't think he should have killed that, but that's a really good catch on the Torbjorn. That's a good point taken. They have 3 minutes going into third point.
Certainly. And a lovely second point from BGSU. Having that consistent cart pressure meant that they only really needed to take one fight there. And Bowling Green
Yeah,
looking good on their map pick of Blizzard World.
They played it really well with the Hazard. They're doing really well in these engagements, but there's less high ground now, so Hazard gets a bit harder. Evan finds the Akiyoto, though. That was a good cleanup. Bryson falls to 1 HP, gets his E forced early. They do have Torvald and Clock for the side of Bowling Green. See if they want to follow up on any of this at all, but they're just getting free cart push. I think you play this slow. Maybe see if you can one-shot someone, but aside from that, just get your cart push.
And cart push is what they are doing right now. Stabilizing this Hazard early.
Gransko has a bit of a problem in the backline. He's playing very aggressively right now, getting burned fast by the Zarya, but he has that block. Almost one-shots the Torbjorn. Bryson falls so low, gets finished off by Bob with the Torbolt, but Gransko gets traded out. Akiyoto is able to find him. He has a lot of... He's going to be a problem. They have to find the Soj. Bob goes down to Bryson. Torbgap. Timmy takes him down.
Old Fontman falling early, and Penn State establishing their footing on the third point.
That was a good hold by Penn State, but it's also so far. Look at how far that cart got. Even if Bowling Green isn't able to full cap, which they have 2 minutes to do, if they're on a full cap, that's such a hard spot to get the cart to.
What do you think of this Sombra swap from the side of Penn State?
I don't know what the idea for it is. I think it's probably to hack the Hazard on his engages and prevent him from blocking, which if you're able to do, that's really good. But it's definitely greedy. Big grab from
finding the Lucio, finding the Soj. Hazard falling into the grab as well, and they're finding such consistent value out of these grabs.
And again, the grab is just kind of a free fight win. Evan did have the beat, but opted not to use it. I don't know if he had it when he got grabbed, or maybe he just chose not to, and they're just going to go next fight. Maybe he's saving it for Akiyoto's clock, so they're able to still fight into it. But they do have ult advantage this fight, so I think that Penn State needs to go first with the clock, try to get maybe a beat out of Bowling Green, and then kite.
Yeah, if you're BGSU here, this is technically one fight territory. If you guys can continue pressuring card and find yourselves a team kill.
Juno comes out really early. They are able to find the Sojourn. That's the only ult that Penn State had online down. Both supports go down as well. That's such a fast team kill. They need to get 3 on card, see if they're able to full cap here. It's going to be kind of an ugly touch. They do have the Sombra alive. They are spy checking for the Sombra, see if they can find her anywhere. Watson makes the swap out of the ball. Bryson for Tracer.
Support ult's coming online for the side of Penn State, though. If they're able to actually establish their footing on point and hold this for a couple seconds.
I really like this beat from Evan. They're playing so aggressively. They need to find something with it, though. Both support ults get used at the same time from Penn State. They might be able to sustain this. Gransko falling really low. Bob almost has the Torbolt. They are able to find Gransko with the Juno.
Finding the Ramattra.
And that's that Juno perk right there. Gets that headshot on Ramattra. Big Bum kills 2. That's the Juno perks.
And the support ults on the side of Penn State, making that retake possible. I did like the angle of trying to approach with beat early and finding those kills, but did not end up converting on that kill.
Yeah,
Big
the break fell so low, but they just weren't able to finish her off. Bryson makes the swap back to Sombra, but they have no ults online for Penn State, whereas Bowling Green is coming up on Ramattra ult and Torbolt. So they have 2 ults getting this fight. I think you play this kind of slow. Play for your Ram ult. Once your Ram builds out, I want him to go really aggressively, maybe pop the annihilation for a second life and just get on the back line. Bob using the Torbolt very aggressively. That's very far forward. I don't know if it's going to get much damage, but it's definitely zoning. He oversteps, though. He forgot the Sojourn was there. Yeah, that was a good angle from Akiyoto, but they are still, looks like they're going to try to fight this
coming in, though.
It's 4v4 right now. 4v3. Juno is low. Brig is 1 HP in this room. I think he should pop the Nemesis to kill. They're just going to ignore her, let the Brig die on her, let the Brig be out of the fight. Focus the Zarya down. See if they're able to find things. Watson is able to find 2, though. They definitely should have gone for that Brig, I think. Brig was able to keep Watson alive on the point, and it looks like he's able to clean this up. This is last fight. He has an 80 charge and a bubble online.
85 to grab.
It's just Bob left on the side of Bowling Green. Recall gets forced, and that might be the map. I think that was a mistake from Gransko not finishing off that Brig. That Brig was able to keep Zarya alive. I know that she's most of the damage, but if you take out on Brig, she might have been able to die. But she was able to find three fights right there, and that's what we're talking about with Watson. He's such a strong tank player. If you aren't able to take him down, then Penn State is never out.
That's correct. And it's such a tough decision, right, to make in that moment. Coming out of your annihilation, seeing that Brig half HP in front of you, but also seeing the Zarya being this sole person contesting and doing the damage on the point. Tough decision to make in a moment. You have to wonder how they would have wanted to play that differently. But a strong push, especially through second point on the side of Bowling Green. They're definitely prioritizing their card during the brawls, and I am liking that as they're playing into the Zarya comp.
Yeah, I think Ramattra might work a little better on defense as well. It gives you more time to play through that poke. I think they're probably going to go Ramattra again, although the Hazard looked really good on first and second point. It looks like they are having Ramattra right now, along with the Torb and the Soj coming back again, so they're going to play really pokey this time. Karma's hovering the Juno. We'll see what Evan goes. I think I'd probably want to see a slower support pick. Maybe this might not be a bad angle for Kiri. You could Brig if you want to play for sustain, but it might feel kind of bad into the Zarya. You could Lucio. Yeah, it looks like he is going to hover Lucio. I'd like to see him play a lot with Bolt Fontman, take those angles. You aren't really able to blow up the Zarya that fast with this kind of composition, so I think the other way you beat Zarya is by playing your angles. So if you're able to take control of high ground with your Soj Lucio, just make sure you're winning those angles, then there's a chance that you can still beat this.
Similar composition coming out from Penn State here. Probably looking for an early Widow shot.
Yeah,
They need to stick the Widow, though.
I think they're probably just going to TP the Widow out, see if they're able to find anything. We'll see if Akioto's able to get anything. See if anyone pulls a Violet. Let's see. Oh, that's a nice headshot in a Grand Sco. He falls low, but finds the tank. That one character he can't one-shot. That was a good shot, though. Looks like they're just gonna wait around. Looks like Akioto does go to the Sojourn. I like that pick. It was lurking pretty well. He feels pretty comfortable in the Sojourn. This is a fast rotate to high ground from Penn State. They weren't able to really to get much value from Bowling Green on this high ground. They're giving it fast. That's a lot of damage from the Torbjorn, though. You have to be careful of those angles. You can't really stand still in the open like that.
And Bowling Green folding that high ground to the Zarya comp.
So this is another issue where they're on Juno Lucia. They really don't have a ton of healing for Bowling Green. They need to be careful of giving up too much space because it's really hard to hold it, right? So you need to play fast. You need to find something. Wanson's kind of falling low. Has both bubbles used as well. We'll see if they're able to aggress onto this. Bob goes to 1 HP for Bowling Green, but they aren't able to find him. Bob does get stabilized. This is a good angle from Akioto. Big Bum goes down. That's such a good pick from Bold Font, man. Torbjorn getting really aggressive. Look at all the damage that he's doing here. Ice Block gets forced. Let's see if they're able to catch the man. They aren't. That's a good wall. Wanson's 1 HP. That's a good late kill. That's going to be another 10 seconds off the clock minimum to get that Zarya back.
And BGSU actually taking great angles as the Zarya comp approaches from that top right high ground. And lovely from the side of Bold Fontman and Bob.
Yeah, I think Watson also overstayed his welcome a little bit. You could see that he was still on point while the rest of his team was actively disengaging. There was definitely probably a call to disengage. You could see that the May ult was used, the rest of the team, the May block was used, the rest of the team was actively disengaging. He just kept holding W. So that might have been a bit of a misplay. You definitely don't want to die on Zarya if you can manage not to, because of how much charge you're going to keep.
Certainly. Ult's coming online, both sides for the Juno ult. Torb ult coming on for the side of BGSU, though. Going to be able to use it in reaction to that Juno ult on the side of Penn State.
You can see Akioto is fighting for these angles. He knows how important it is as Sojourn to try to find a one-shot. He has full rail. He isn't able to find a pick, though, off of it. Torbalt gets used. I don't know if that was really needed. That's such an easy Torbalt to kite. I think you want to wait for a team to engage a bit more. Unless they find the Zarya. She's overstaying her welcome once again, but it looks like she might be able to get out. No, they're able to find her. That's such a good kill from Bold Font, man. Watson needs to be careful. He's playing really aggressively right now, but the entire composition of Bowling Green is just playing to poke him out. So if he's not able to get those disengages fast, maybe it's a miscommunication between him and Big Bum on those Juno rings to help get him out, but he's currently overstaying as well. He needs to be careful.
100%. Although he does have the big red button online now.
Yeah, Penn State has 5 ults online here. Evan really needs to build this beat. I think they either should play for this beat or they really need to go fast with Juno and Clock. They need to turn this fight fast. They don't have the ult advantage here. And that grab has been such a problem so far this series.
And regardless of if you're winning this fight or not, you're looking to trade out a couple ults.
They're playing it so slowly again. That's a great grab from
grab,
Watson.
Catching the backline, but does anyone have an angle on it?
Bryson goes down. That's such a good pick. Beat gets used, finds 4 for Bowling Green, and Ransco is so far in. Look at their Ramatria. He's not taking any damage. They're poking out the Zarya right now. They really need to find this kill, though. We'll see if Watson's able to get anything.
They are going to find the kill in the Zarya, zapping that charge.
Yep, they are able to get it. So they took that fight slower than I thought they should, but they were able to live the grab with Juno, which you don't see a lot. A lot of teams don't use Juno to stay in the grab. Evan uses the beat later on just to make sure his team has the health needed in order to stay in the fight. But now Penn State has Juno and they have Clock. There's not really an answer for the side of Bowling Green. I think they need to use a Clock, and it's just going to be a Clock mirror, whoever gets more kills at the Sojourn.
Penn State swapping over to the Zarya. Pretty interesting swap on the side there. Might be able to help them in these extended fights, but as William mentioned, the Clock mirror is going to come out on both sides.
Yeah, far
whatever Sojourn feels like making the play first.
This map is so open. Looks like Bold Fontman is the first one to press Q. Akioto matches it. Akioto finds Bob. Big Bump finds the Sojourn, and that might just be the point. That's such a great play. That was really aggressive. Looks like the Pharah immediately paying dividends. You see he's already 73 to ult. That was his first fight on Pharah, and he built 60% ult charge. I didn't think it was going to work quite that well, quite that quickly, but definitely getting rewarded for that swap off of the Torg run.
Yeah, and the double ult coming out from the side of Big Bum and Akioto. That Juno ult plus this overclock is such a quick burst, especially if Sojourn has taken the overclock perk. That immediately big burst of damage onto point that BGSU is not expecting.
Looks like Gransko isn't fighting for the high ground. He's willing to give that up possibly in order to fight low ground. They might be trying to take a fast fight here at corner, which I don't hate that idea, but Wanston has so much charge. They're playing aggressively here. Gransko does have his ultimate online, so he's able to go really aggressively here if he thinks someone
the Rockets are about to rain from the angle.
Yeah, Bryson does have that barrage. He's looking for a flank right now, maybe.
And he has a perfect flank through high ground.
He did give himself away. He doesn't have the suck perk yet for his concussive blast. But Gransko going really aggressive immediately. That's such a good barrage from Bryson. He's able to find 2. It's now a 4v3, 4v2, 4v1, and that's going to be a fight. See if they're able to get the Sojourn on the disengage. It looks like they are. Yep, that's a good play from Akioto. The bubble on Akioto makes sure that there's no possibility of getting traded. And Bryson making the swap to Tracer back to Pharah. Might have just been trying to come back faster. I like that. I like your micro plays in spawn. Definitely speeds it up. But Bowling Green does have both support ults and Torb ult coming online.
Bowling Green still in the Juno Lucio, is able to cross these gaps against the Zarya pretty quickly. Maybe try to get on top of this Brigida. Zarya is still on cart on the side of Penn State, though, coming up on the grab.
Really fast Juno ult coming out. That's such an easy ult to kite, though. That I think you need to wait for them. Never mind, Quincy gets caught on the disengage. I think that was still a very early ult to use, though. Both Fondman hitting his rails, though. Make sure that no mistakes are capitalized on. Again, Watson goes down. Late kill. That was a good kill for them. But how are you feeling about this Torb going into the Pharah?
I think the Torb is still fine. You're going to be finding a lot of poke onto this Zarya. I do think with the Juno Lucio backline, you're going to bleed a whole lot more versus Zarya without that sustained healing. You're trying to find a quick burst on top of them. So, in a sense, your Torb Soj are playing against what your Juno Lucio wants to do. And I think that is the main issue with the Torb. But the Torb is definitely still going to find a lot of value in the ult trade.
Also, get to note that his ult does do a lot of damage to armor, so it's a really good counter to Big Rally. It looks like Watson goes first with the Zarya ult, but that was after the Torb ult already came out. There's no one able to capitalize on that. I don't know if Evan even needed to beat that. That might have been just to be safe, but they do have a clock that they need to play into. I kind of wish Evan held on to that beat.
Winston taking the high ground with 100 charge. Shield coming out from the Ramacha, getting poked out right now.
Bob is able to find Akioto, though, showing the value that Torbjorn can get despite playing into Soj Torb. But that's a really aggressive Juno ult and rally used from Penn State. They really want to win this fight.
And you will find yourself having a recontest here on the side of BGSU on the second point. Farah going to be coming back. Going to build the rocket barrage mid-fight, but Nemesis is also coming online for the side of Gransko.
And then Bob got a late kill on a Bryson, so Farah's not here for this fight. Despite being 80 on the barrage, she's not going to be there for it. So they have no ults online for the players that are here. I kind of hope that Bowling Green goes for a bit of a faster fight. They almost have the Ramatra ult. Juno falls 1 HP. That's such a good kill for Bold Font, man. He's so good and consistent on these picks. Zarya has both bubbles forced. Lucio's 1 HP. Are they able to keep Evan up? No, they are not. But again,
Nim on the Zarya to maintain the brawl, finding Brig in the mid.
It's so much damage. Quinn goes down as well. Gransko making great value of the double life that you get from Ramatra with that annihilation. And that's a hold for Bowling Green on second point. I think they played that Ramatra really well. They played their poke really well. Despite having Juno Lucio, who was trying to play a bit more aggressively, I kind of like it because Lucio provides a lot of angles, and you could see that the Sojourn for Bowling Green was definitely getting a lot of value. So that Lucio support was definitely working out. Akioto was fighting for those angles, but because you don't have a Lucio playing with you, it makes it a lot harder to win those mirrors.
Yeah, and Bold Fontman finding himself extremely comfortable on this map with longer lanes, finding several important kills.
Yeah, and Bowling Green does like their double hit scan a lot, but looks like they feel pretty comfortable in the Torbjorn as well with Bob. He was getting a lot of value. He was even killing the Pharah on Torb, which you don't see every day. And that was a really good late kill. That might have honestly been map winning right there, because Pharah was 80% ult. If she doesn't get traded there, she builds that ult very easily, and she can just barrage the annihilation again like she did at the beginning of second point and just kill Gransko very quickly.
Yeah, and I did like the aggressiveness from Gransko coming out in that last fight. Solid map hit from the side of Bowling Green there. Wondering where Penn State wants to go here.
It is key to note that map win did take the Ana ban. So they had to use their Ana ban. They're not going to be able to ban Ana again for the rest of the series, and that Ana was a problem first map. So we'll see how much that Ana comes back into play for the rest of this. So it was a good map. It's always good to get that point on the board, but it did come at a high cost.
Certainly. Being a best of 5 series, you do have potentially 3 more maps that you're going to play. Following OWCS rule set, you are not going to be able to ban that Ana again. And Penn State selecting Flashpoint as the game mode. We'll see what map they desire to go.
Yeah, because there's only 2 maps in Flashpoint, Bowling Green does not get a map ban, so it's just up to Penn State to pick which map they want. They probably, maybe New Junk City. Zarya's pretty good on those close maps, and they did just lose a ranged, but I think Zarya's pretty good on both maps either way.
Certainly, and that's only if they decided to go with that Zarya angle. As you mentioned, that they do have a couple archetypes that they can play. But with the Ana coming back into play, I'd say that they want to go back to the style that they played on Lijiang.
They could also bring out a Maga, though. Maga's very good on Flashpoint maps. So we'll see if they want to go into that. It looks like because Bowling Green is playing a lot of Ramatra, Maga's really good into Ram. You can just kind of shoot through his block. Ram is pretty good at living Maga engages as well, but he just gets so much healing off of you. So it's a pretty even kind of mirror, but we'll see which one they opt for.
And yeah, we do see the role swap as far as the order. So possibly Bryson coming in on the tank, Winston moving over to the DPS. This might be that other archetype you were talking about.
Yeah, it looks like they might be playing some Maga. Usually Bryson comes in for that Maga, Winston swaps over the DPS. So I'm expecting Maga here. They haven't picked which Flashpoint map they want yet. We'll see which one they opt for. Based on this, I'd say it's probably going to be New Junk City, just because Maga is more consistent, I think, on more points of that. But we'll see which one they opt for. I don't know if they know that Bowling Green doesn't get a ban or not, but we'll see which map they decide to opt for. So we can follow up, see if what map they want to do. I'd let them know that there isn't a map ban, because there are only 2 points. So there are 2 maps, so they do get to pick. Yeah. So what kind of bans do you think you want to see come out from both sides?
You do have that Zarya ban in reserve, but if you've picked up on their archetype, maybe you'll know that Bryson is coming in for tank, and maybe he doesn't like that Zarya as much as Winston does. So on the side of Bowling Green, might be able to go and ban, say that Juno. Big Bum has definitely been finding a whole lot of value with his Juno ults mid-fight, and but BGSU also favoring that Juno. So maybe you look to ban Maga.
This is a very micro thing, but with our tournament, we did do a vote with the captains of if you need to lock your roles before or after bans. It looks like, but Penn State did swap it first. So if Bowling Green did the research, they'll know that Bryson's coming in for tank, and so I would honestly ban Maga right here. So they should ban Maga just based on them swapping that tank over. It's kind of just letting them know, but it also might be some trickery from Penn State that might be trying to get them to think that they're going to run out on Maga, maybe base that ban and then go Zarya. So we'll see what they opt for.
Yeah, and so with Bob finding himself so much success on that side of Blizzard World with the Torb, he is going to be banned out on this map. Penn State with the Torb ban.
I really do like that ban. Torbjorn isn't great on first point of New York City, but the rest of the map, there are some pretty long lanes despite it being a very good brawl map. There are some long lanes for that brawl, and Torbjorn does a really good job into Maga, just chunking his armor, and in cage fights, he's just another tank that you have to burn through. So I think Bowling Green is probably going to opt for maybe a double hit scan on this map. They haven't really shown too many flex DPS consistently, so it's probably going to be a lot of probably double hit scan. First point's going to kind of suck for that though. So we'll see if they offer maybe something like a Genji, something like a Mei, get that flex DPS in there, or we'll see if they're trying to go stick the double hit scan.
Certainly, and the ban has not come out from the side of Bowling Green State University. In this 1-1 intense series, probably a bit on edge as far as who they ban into this team.
And because it's such a long series, you need to be careful of what bans you're using. Because if you use Maga ban now, you can maybe get a map win here, but it's out for the rest of the series. Brig ban comes in. That's an interesting choice. Maybe they don't feel comfortable because with that Brig, if they don't have a Torbjorn, there's a lot of damage that you don't have a lot of damage coming in that's able to help burn through that armor. So I do like Torb into Brig. It makes it a pretty hard matchup.
And I definitely don't hate that ban on the side of Bowling Green either. They haven't found themselves playing the Brig too often, but Penn State University was actually finding a whole lot of success whenever they rallied. They would play extremely aggressive with the rally, finding some early stuns, and often convert kills off of it.
Yeah, so it looks like Bowling Green might not have done their research. Penn State is going to keep that tank swap. They might have been trying to be a little tricky with the Zarya versus the Maga, maybe try to bait the Maga ban, but I think they're probably just going to opt for the Maga. It looks like they are going to run it because they're keeping Bryson on tank. So we're going to see some Maga coming out, definitely. I think Ramatra isn't bad into it, but you're going to have to be careful. Because the Maga comp can be very fast. They do a lot of damage very quickly. So if you're not able to burn the Maga quickly, we were talking about playing Poke and Zarya. It's even more important to do so into Maga. He doesn't do well into angles, but if you all stack up and he's able to just get a big stomp onto your entire team, then you are just going to die.
Right, and that Maga going to be strong on this first point of New Junk City.
Yeah, so we'll see what Bowling Green opts to go for. We kind of know what Penn State's going to do just based on the previous matches, but we'll see what they opt for. So it looks like they are just currently discussing on Bowling Green. This is an important map. Again, if you win this map, you're up 2-1. It's only one more map to win the series. If you go down, you need to win 2 in a row. So it's a very important map pick. This has been a pretty competitive series so far. Based on Lijiang, I didn't know how competitive it was going to be. It was 2-1, but it was kind of a scary 2-1 because they were playing a kind of a weird comp that maybe Penn State just wasn't ready for. But they are bringing out the Maga. This is the first time bringing out the series. Bowling Green might not be aware that they have this archetype in the tank. So we'll see what they go for. So I'm still expecting probably Ramatra, probably a double hit scan. They've been playing a lot of, they've been Brig and Torb. Yeah, it's probably going to be a Juno, maybe a Curie, Juno Lucio. I think they probably go with the Juno Lucio again.
Bob may be finding himself back on the castle on this map. He did have a lovely play on Control Center, finding a couple kills in the back line.
Yeah, he has very good mechanics. Despite being behind 1v4, he's able to find one support and almost got a second one as well. So he's definitely very comfortable on that hit scan, but casting a Maga is a very scary matchup.
Very true. And if they did have this read, they are going the Reaper, maybe looking to blow up the Maga.
So this is very interesting. It's almost a mirror comp. They are bringing out the Ana again for
Gary for BGSU.
But first point, Ana's not amazing on. You have to be really careful to find those nades, and there's not really super long sight lines aside from looking across point, but that's very limited when you can do that. So I think if they know what they're playing into, they need to be very fast with Juno Lucio. Juno Lucio can get on top of a composition very quickly, but they need to do so, or else they're just going to risk getting bled out by the Ana, by the Reaper. Are they going to? It looks like they are going to make the swap to Soj. So it's a very similar matchup though. The Lucio versus the Ana, and then the Ram versus the Maga.
Yeah, and if you're Big Bum here, this is gonna be a 5v5 brawl, right on this pillar hopefully, and Big Bum should be able to find a big nade here, but like William said, there needs to be a quick engage on the side of BGSU. They sustain the first Maga hit, nade comes out onto Ramatra, and quickly finished off actually.
Trade's quickly coming in. I'm surprised that the Maga fell that quickly, and Bob quickly fell after, but Bowling Green does have point prio here. They are going to start getting that cap, so they're probably going to get some free percentage off of this, unless Penn State decides to go back in without their Maga. Evan goes down, though. That's such a good pick from Akioto. He's very consistent on these picks as well. Both of these Sojourns are doing a really good job of finding early picks and fights. That's a quick engage. I really like this. The Sojourn's down already. Ramatra's getting burned. Reaper's 1 HP. He does have rates, so he's able to live, but that's such a good nade on the Ramatra. Yeah, Sojourn is able to follow up on damage, and the Maga is able to follow up on this as well. I really like this play from Bob, just dying on point. Try to get as much percentage as you can. Yeah, so that's going to be a disengage looking for the rest of the team, but Sojourn might get caught here. She is able to slide out. That's thanks to Karma's speed ring, just to get her out. That's a good disengage. But look how close World Frontman is to that clock.
And lovely disengage on Penn State's side, but perhaps a bit in the fog was the Sojourn, finding that early pick, allowing the Maga to come back in, and ultimately finishing off Gransko to win that fight.
So this is where it gets really important for Bowling Green to know that they need to play their angles. You're not going to win this 5v5 brawl. Look at how close they are all in this small room. Wraith gets forced out. They got so many cooldowns out just for using their Maga Slam there. They need to be careful of just walking 5 into the same room.
Reaper all is online.
They're again all playing in the same room. They really need to open the map up more. They are able to finally break out. Ramatra's falling low though already. Gransko probably has a Nemesis Force, but Bold Fawn is able to find one. But Akioto's behind him. That's such a big blossom from Wonston. Big Bum finds the Ramatra. Wonston gets 3. Very good blossom from the side of Wonston. We already know he's a very mechanical player based off his Zarya mechanics. So that's just a good play. Heads up play.
Certainly, lovely heads up play there. Brawl starts to break out, and Reaper comes in from that quick angle, finding 3 with the Blossom.
You need to be careful with Bowling Green. You can't let the Reaper get that much value. It's really Evan's job to deal with that. Big Cage, stopping the touch. They're not going to let the touch.
Cage prevents the touch.
They use
completely.
B. Yeah, I think you need to pay attention to the percentage there. You know you're not going to get a touch unless you break Cage. So Evan was maybe trying to win this fight out. They are getting picks off of it, so it's not terrible, but I don't think you should have used speed there.
Finding a couple trades in the scrap here, but ultimately 1-0 on New Junk City so far for Penn State. BGSU, they're going to establish their footing early on this point, which is going to be good into this Maga comp, maybe able to actually poke it out early.
And they do have a lot of ults online as well. They're playing into the clock in the Juno, and they did use their beats. So they don't have beat into that clock, but they do have a lot of ults online. If they go first with Juno ult, they can definitely get some kills here, or maybe Bob can go for a quick play with maybe a TP in on the Reaper with Blossom. Looks like they're setting up the far high ground. I really like this. This is the perfect position to play into. Like we said, Maga's not great into angles like this. If he's able to get on top of you, he's really strong, but he's not great at getting it. That's such a good kill from Bold Font. Good kill from Bold Font, man. He finds the Reaper early. Very important pick. See if they're able to follow up anything else. Ana does hit a nade onto Evan, forces him back, but speedrun gets used, and that is a disengage. Once again, Bowling Green is taking point first.
Bowling Green posturing close, potentially for a close fight either with this Blossom or the Strudel. But if Penn State is able to scout this, send a Sojourn with that overclock.
That's such a fat nade from Big Bum, but there's no follow-up for it. Blossom gets used, finds both supports. That's so good from him. But Penn State, heads up, they didn't use any ults there. They didn't use the clock. They didn't use the Juno trying to turn that. Akioto does find a late kill into Sojourn. See if he's able to find anything else as well. He slides aggressively. Yeah, he's not able to get staggered out. It's very scary to stagger a Sojourn when she has a rail that can just one-tap someone. So good on them to not use any ults there. They know that fight's lost, and they're coming up on 4 ultimates now.
And both support ults online on the side of Penn State. Potentially able to send a nano clock if they're going to continue holding close. Juno able to be used to sustain.
Look where Bob is positioning. That's such an aggressive play. Gets slept. Luckily he has that wraith, so he's able to get out. Akioto uses the clock to help close this gap. Look at how much damage the Maga is doing to this Ramatra. Quinn finds 2. Quinn is so consistent on the Juno as well, and it's just Bob left on the point. So lonely, so alone, not able to stop that.
And again, similar to that Blizzard World first take from Penn State, using the Juno and the overclock at the exact same time, it's so much burst that they aren't ready for. Bob getting called out, being used to force uses Wraith early, and Penn State collapsing on top of BGSU there.
Yeah, BGSU needs to be careful at playing close like that. They did slowly start to back up, but the Reaper stayed far forward, which, yes, he needs to play close in order to get a lot of damage, but I don't think he can really start there. He got slept immediately, had his cooldowns disengaged, and it was a free window for Penn State to get in. It looks like Bowling Green is posturing to try to take this top right high ground, but Gransko is playing so aggressively. He does have the Ramatra ult, though. Let's see if they're able to chase down the Surge. That's such a good nano, though, from Big Bum. Able to keep the Sojourn alive. She's still alive. Wanson finds a Death Blossom on point. 3v3. Evan finds a boop on a Quinn. 3v2. Looks like Penn State is going to be able to win this fight. It's a very scrappy one, though, still. Reaper goes down, and yep, that is Penn State cleaning it up. So that was a very good kill. Those were very good kills, but that nano is what changed that fight.
And we find ourselves in a similar position to first point. A needed touch from the side of BGSU and a cage on the other side of Penn State. Penn State possibly looking to cage off this touch again.
Looks like Bryson is giving up some space. They're not going to play to cage to try to stop the touch. Maybe he doesn't feel comfortable doing it. Wanston finds Bold Fotman on the angle, though. That's such a good play from the Reaper. I don't know how he ended up getting caught. Gransko has to step onto this point. Cage gets used. They do catch the Ramatra. Someone else is going to have to touch. Evan does not catch Gransko with the beat. It's actually just a solo beat. I don't think he hit anyone on his team. You're going to want that one back. Juno falls to 1 HP. Wanston is able to find the Reaper, and it's just the supports left for BGSU. No damage left. No health left. Evan finds the trade on his Sojourn, but it's not going to be enough. And Bowling Green matching the Maga maybe feel like the Ramatra is not working very well. I don't hate Juno Lucio, but they're getting caught a lot with these nades. Big Bum is getting a lot of value on the Ana, so I maybe want to see a Kiri swap, honestly. Yeah, I don't care which support changes, but I think one of them does need to go Kiri.
An important thing to note is it's a complete mirror composition except for this backline, and the backline on the side of Penn State is a whole lot more sustainable, and it's a bit more aggressive with the potential for those Ana nades. You might be looking to speed a Reaper in here and maybe look to swap after that. But I would say that Penn State has the stronger composition currently.
Yeah, you have to be smart with how you play this for BGSU. Looks like Bold Fontman falls to 1 HP from that angle. They need to be smart with getting these angles. Again, the Lucio is very strong at supporting those angles, but if you're not going to value out of it, that's a stump engage onto a Death Blossom. He was very 1 HP. That was maybe the only way to turn it. Bobs pops the Blossom, tries to get some trades, but that's Juno ult and Blossom use in a losing fight. They get some points pressure here. Once again, they cap first, but it's not going to matter. It's maybe going to be 15% by the time that they cap. Evan goes down, and yeah, it looks like probably going to be around 18%. So that's not terrible for Bowling Green. They have some percent on the board, but look at how many ults they used.
Yeah, it's such an expensive fight just for 18% there, and Penn State having a lovely close hold here, able to actually set up these Ana and these Sojourn angles on the outsides of the point here. Gonna make it extremely difficult for those Maga comp of Bowling Green to actually engage.
And Akioto is so consistent on this clocks as well. If you let him get set up, if you give him the nano, he's definitely going to find some value. Akioto falls to 1 HP though. Big Bum has the nano used. Nano's the Maga, tries to turn this fight. Such a fat nade used on the Gransko. Great play by Big Bum, able to keep them in this fight. Clock gets used by Bold Flame. I'm trying to finish this one off, but they don't have their Maga. They don't have a ton of point pressure. So it's just this clock. Re-engage comes out. They do pop the Juno ult to do so. Maga needs to get some value here though. He needs to make his presence known, being the only tank left on the board. Evan uses the beat, but they gets trapped by the Maga cage. That's such a good cage. Able to catch the entire team, able to live through it. Again, no Maga to match him there. And Bold Fightman does fall to that cage. That's a very good cage from Bryson. Looking very strong on this Maga.
And despite Akioto being called out early, Bold Fightman proceeds to clock, but Penn State disengages within the second and gets back onto point quickly with the Juno ult, retaking that fight. And that was a lovely disengage from the side of Penn State against that clock.
Yeah, they played that almost perfectly despite being down 1. Then finding the trade onto Maga with Big Bum, turning that fight. He got the nano onto the Maga. He was able to anti the other Maga, and that's just fight winning. So they do have Clock and Blossom for this fight. For the recontest, Bowling Green only has Cage, and it's kind of scary popping that Cage into the Blossom. I think you really need to get a good trap on someone and then try to find some, like use the Cage as cover into the Clock. So he does use Cage, catches everybody. The Reaper does not have Wraith, but he pops the Death Blossom in the Cage. It's a lot of damage. Gransko goes down immediately, wants to get killed. Evan does trade out Quinn, but it might be too little too late.
And naded inside of that cage, you're seeing the impact of that on the side of Penn State, and that's why we've been saying that they have the stronger comp. In that Magamir, that Ana nade is just, it's fight turning. You start to lose the resource trade immediately once the nade comes out if you don't have an ability to cleanse it or finish off that fight faster.
And this is where the importance of OWCS ban rules come in. Because again, they were able to win Blizzard World, but like we said, it came at the cost of that Ana ban. So they're not going to be able to ban that Ana again for the rest of the series, and you can see how much pressure that Ana puts in. So I really think they need to lead more into a Kiri. I don't think we've seen Evan play Kiri yet today, and I think the other supporters played only Juno so far. So they might not be super comfortable with Kiri, but I feel like you kind of need it for this. Or you need to play with like a Brig, try to play to out-sustain it and block those nades, but Big Bum is getting so much value on this Ana.
Certainly, if you're playing in the Magamir, you need that Kiriko into that Ana there. They did find success on the Juno Lucio on that longer lane map that was Blizzard World into Zarya. But in that Maga mirror, being able to sustain your Maga through that ANSI is so important.
Good thing for BGSU here is they do get map pick and they get first hero ban. So they can definitely still get another point here, but you're going to be playing into a Penn State map pick and first ban if you want to win this series. So they need to be smart with their map pick here. They've already picked Hybrid and they've picked Flashpoint. So the only map types left are Escort and Push. So you maybe go for a push here. You're playing pretty well with your ranged comps, although maybe Escort would be good too. We haven't seen a dive mirror yet, so we don't know how the teams will compete in dive. But yeah, you definitely want to play for your range. But the brawl archetypes are gone already. Those Hybrid and Flashpoint are typically the brawl maps. A Control is also a brawl map. Being able to get one of those away from Penn State is very important because those are the 3 map types they probably feel more comfortable on with their brawl kind of compositions. So we'll see what BGSU is able to do.
Yeah, with those maps being open, it is going to be BGSU's pick. So I would like to see them go push personally. I think push plays into their double hit scan angle quite well. Torb will be unbanned again as well, again with the OWCS rules. Penn State utilizing their Torb ban there and utilizing it quite effectively, and they do go to push.
Yeah, it looks like you predicted push is a pretty good pick. What map do you think that Penn State should ban here?
If you're Penn State, you've got every single push map in the pool. I would say if you're on the side of Penn State, you're looking to ban either a Runasapi or maybe an Esperanca. I think those would favor that double hit scan the most once you actually get the map going. And I think that's what you're looking to shut down if you're looking to go with that Zarya or Maga style.
Push as a whole is so scary that when you're playing into double hit scan, because they get a lot of value on Esperanca and Runasapi, like you said, but they're also super strong on Coliseo, because having to push in that long archway and then also having to play into the high grounds, it's just so much damage, so much pressure. And they also could ban Maga. I don't know if they necessarily should, because Maga isn't the strongest on all the push maps, but if you do go a Coliseo and you ban Maga, then you're kind of trapping them onto a Zarya comp, and Zarya does not do well in a range like that. So she's going to get skipped a lot. Esperanca, same thing. They can just go jump her backline, so there's a lot of strong options here.
Yeah, push definitely favoring those long lanes. And I think with the options of New Queen Street and Coliseo, you are able to play around those lanes a little bit better, playing around the buses on New Queen Street, playing around the pillars on Coliseo. But if you find yourself on a map like Esperanca, you're consistently playing into that high ground no matter what side of the map that you're playing on. And I think that's where someone like Bold Fontman would thrive on that Sojourn.
But Penn State is showing that they have a lot of macro awareness in terms of how to play points. So you could tell with the cages they were using to stop touches. They are very aware of what the objective of the game is. They know that getting elims is important, but they know to play for the objective first. That's more important. And maybe Bowling Green isn't quite as comfortable with that, but you could tell especially with the beats that they were using when there are times where there's no chance that they're going to get a touch. So it looks like it's a new Queen Street ban coming out. That's probably the last map I would have banned.
Yeah, New Queen Street, not typically a popular map, but maybe just one that Penn State is uncomfortable on. I don't mind that ban there. You are playing into those high grounds once you get forward spawn started, and I do not think that New Queen Street plays well into the Maga and Zarya styles that they've shown so far.
It doesn't, but it's also closer lanes. I guess getting past first point makes it you start to get into long lanes, but at least for trying to get first checkpoint, it's pretty good for a Maga kind of comp, especially because we're talking about Bowling Green with their double hit scan. They can get so much value on a map like Coliseo. They can get so much value on a map like Esperanca, especially because they like their Winston as well. The Winston, very strong on Esperanca. That's typically a dive kind of map. You can make brawl work there. Maga has been used there a lot, but trying to play Zarya and Esperanca might not be the easiest.
Yeah, and BGSU did show that Winston earlier in this series, but if you find yourself on Winston double hit scan again, I'm not sure it's going to work as well. The reason why it worked decently on that night market map is that the lanes are pretty short, so Mukti can get a quick jump in, draw some attention, and those hit skins are allowed to walk up. But if you're jumping across the entire map, that entire lane of Esperanca, your hit scans aren't actually going to be able to find as much value on that engage as they do on those shorter lanes.
And the other important part with Control is that it has built-in resets, because there's 3 different points. You don't need to win for 10 minutes straight like you do on Push. You only need to win a few fights, and that's the map. And it's really scary to make swaps on a map type like Control, because you're completely resetting your ult advantage. So if your comp just isn't working, it's kind of hard to make that decision, whereas on Push you have 10 minutes. Like they do offer Runasapi. That's very strong for double hit scan. I don't hate that pick, but first fight might be a little scary into a brawl team.
Certainly. It just depends on how they open up the map on that first fight. I do like that pick from the side of Bowling Green State. We've seen Runasapi a couple times in this tournament so far. I believe it was played in the Miami Old Dominion game, going the way of Miami. But many tournaments not having Runasapi in it, having the full push map pool in this tournament does allow BGSU to take that to Runasapi.
Yeah, it's so many maps that you need to be ready on, especially because most scrims you only get to scrim one flashpoint map, or one push map, sorry. So it's so many maps to be scrimmed on, so maybe Penn State just doesn't scrim on New Queen Street, but they scrim the other three, so they felt more comfortable going Runasapi. But yeah, so that Torbjorn might get a lot of value, that double hit scan might get a lot of value depending on what Bowling Green opts for. We're probably going to see a Zarya. I wouldn't be surprised if they swap the tank, if they swap Wanston back to tank for this map, because that Maga isn't great on Runasapi. You can poke him out a lot. I think Zarya does a little better into angles than Maga does, and she likes those longer fights, whereas Maga is really bursty. And when you're on a map with super long lanes, you can't really burst that fast unless you're being really careful with your runs. So it looks like a Weaver ban coming out from BGSU. Maybe they want to protect ban their support, but I was not expecting a Weaver ban.
Yeah, I cannot say I was expecting a Lifeweaver ban in this tournament. We will be seeing Lifeweaver on the hero portraits now.
This might be the first time he's ever been in there. I don't know if a team has ever banned that hero, aside from Crusty in OWCS. We know he likes to get silly with his bans. Maybe they got a little influence from Crusty. Watched some EU before this.
Yeah, Ramatra ban coming out from the side of Penn State makes a bit more sense on their side as far as the tank matchup goes. BGSU did favor that Ram a lot, so this is probably going to force them into that monkey style, maybe the Maga that they pulled out on New Junk City. But I do expect to see monkey double hit scan coming out from the side of Bowling Green State.
I am surprised you don't use the Maga or the Zarya ban. I believe they still have both in the tank. So I feel like you can use one of those for free and force the other map, the other archetype. But maybe they want to be careful, see what ends up on map 5, and see which one they want to ban away and force the other one. But I do think you could have maybe gotten a tank ban there. I think they were just trying to protect ban. Maybe they're trying to protect ban Juno? I think that they had Lucio banned first map, didn't they?
Possibly. And you are fighting for your tournament life here, so this ban is a decision that you sleep with tonight.
Yeah, you either come back tomorrow morning as a winner, still in loser's bracket, unfortunately, but you did come back out of the series, or you go home and you have another day maybe stuck in Cincy. They likely have hotel room for another night. So that's that. You gotta spend the night knowing that you banned a Weaver, but we get to put him on the graphic, so we're not complaining.
Certainly, and another night in Cincy is not the worst fate. Beautiful city, lovely university.
Yeah, I definitely would enjoy a night around the town, but you know it is stormy, so might not be the best time. Although fitting if you do lose this with the late Weaver ban.
Rain on the way out, Weaver.
Masking your tears at least, so they won't see it. But it looks like right now, Penn State is hovering the Maga. I'm a bit surprised that they're going for the Maga, not the Zarya, but it looks like Bowling Green is confident in this mirror. They're willing to take it, and look, they are bringing out the Kiriko. I really like this swap.
I
so
do
Karma
like
is
this
playing the
adaptation.
Kiri. Evan's going on the
back
Juno.
on the Torbjorn as well, which was previously banned on that side of New Junk City.
I'm very interested to see how Wanston plays on the Reaper. I think this is the only DPS we might have seen from him so far in the tournament. He might have played some Torb, but he doesn't really play a ton of hit scan. He doesn't play a ton of other flex DPS aside from Reaper and Torb. And I do think that Reaper is a bit of a bait. He's pretty strong in Amaga. You can burn him pretty fast, but he gets poked out so fast. And as based on our experience, at least, Torbjorn is just kind of better at doing what Reaper tries to do in a lot of situations.
Yeah, Winston has been finding a bunch of value out of these Death Blossoms, though, so honestly, you don't really want to fix what's not broken, but he is getting poked out early, gets this Wraith forced out, and pretty neutral fight going on by this Mega.
I think it falls a lot on the supports here for the side of Penn State if they want to win this fight. Big Bum has to find a good nade, or Quinn has to find a good speed ring, probably for Wanston, in order to get on top of something. They cannot take extended fights like this. We're talking about how the Zarya thrives in extended fights, but Maga does not, especially when you're playing with Reaper. Reaper does not like long fights. So the
We speak about these extended fights, but look at the support ults on the side of Penn State. They're loving this extended fight so far. Akioto finding a quick kill onto the Kiriko as well. Gonna shut that down quickly, finding the nade onto the Maga.
Yeah, it's a very important nade from Big Bum, and again, once Akioto is just so consistent at finding these picks. It's both Sojourns, both have been playing so well so far, but Akioto does come out on top that fight, getting that first pick. And this is a swap coming over for BGSU already. They're going to the Diva. How do you feel about that swap?
I don't actually mind this Diva swap whatsoever. You're going to be forcing a lot of support resources to carry this Diva, but ultimately, if you look individually against each character on Penn State's comp, Diva does play pretty well into it, and so the goal that you're playing for is you're going to be playing for that hit scan in the Torbjorn to find some early poke on Zamaga while Diva sustains on the point. They're doing that pretty well so far, forces the defensive nade, and Maga catching the nano does not find anything with the stomp though, but Diva running out of defense matrix is going to fall over to this Maga.
Ult's coming out from both sides. Akioto once again finds first pick onto Bob. Support ult's getting used non-stop here. Bold Fondman is able to live the purple. They already would kill the Maga, but Blossom gets used by Wanston. Gets the pick on Bold Fondman, keeping the numbers advantage. Akioto pops the clock. So they are going to get forward spawn here, but look at how expensive of a fight that was.
Yeah, you certainly don't mind getting forward spawn on such a strong map that with forward spawn advantage. You're going to be playing that lane as much as you want. You can take this high ground now that you got this close fight, and you still do have the cage, but you're able to elect to take this fight wherever you want due to having that cart priority.
But Bowling Green does have the Torbolt for the cage. They may be able to burn the Maga inside of it, and that's all they have left in the tank. Bold Frontman has the clock still as well. So I want to see maybe Bold Frontman take an angle on left side. You don't want to be playing cliff. They need to clear this Reaper, though. Wanston is being such a problem right now. Has Wraithform Force, though. If they're able to chase this kill, that's just a free pick on a Wanston. Might have over-aggressed a little bit, but his supports are really helping him out. Now, Bold Frontman does not let him get away with that.
That's a neutral fight pickup so far. Cage still coming out from the side of Maga. You see the Juno come out in reaction. They do burn that Maga with said Juno ult. But you have to kind of question, did you need that? Will you want that for the next corner?
I think maybe you need a one of the two, but they used 2 ults in a 4v5. So it might have taken the Juno ult. I think I do like the Juno ult just to make sure, but I think you honestly could have just Torbolted that, burned the Maga inside of the cage, and I think Juno ult is just more consistent in terms of ult. So Torbolt is not bad. It is good at stopping aggression, but Juno ult is just so much more consistent.
If you're Penn State, you will definitely take getting those 2 ults out for that Maga cage. They're going to come back quick on the corner with the reconcess. Diva Comp still playing for their poke versus this Maga, but Akioto has a field day of angles to take as far as this point.
BGSU does not seem super comfortable opening the map up, though. You could tell that all 5 people were sitting on cart there. They're playing in composition. They do find Wanston, though, so I guess they get rewarded for stacking his 5 into the Maga comp. Bold Fireman holding onto this rail. He does have a shot onto Akioto. Akioto finds low, has a slide force, and they might be able to get forward spawn off of this fight. Unless Penn State is able to touch again with the Maga. I think they're just going to play to disengage. I don't really see them going for a... Yeah, looks like they are disengaging. I don't think he touched that in the 4v5. So while they didn't open up the map, they get saved by Bold Frontman finding a pick.
Bomb coming out and finds one.
Finds
what actually a lovely
bomb used.
If you're able to take this fight and win this fight early, you're going to find yourself with a lot of cart progress. Torbolt coming out from the side of Bob.
They're using a lot of ults again, though, in a fight that seemed like it should already be won. Once again, they use Torbolt and Curio. Both of those ults kind of do the same thing. I don't think you need to layer them.
Right, and that was the bomb, finding the kill early on to Akioto, making it a 5v4 on the side of Bowling Green State University, but you do end up using that rush and that Torbolt, despite nothing coming out from the side of Penn State.
But they're building up such a big lead on this map. There's still 5 minutes to go, so there definitely is time to turn it. But look, so Penn State making that swap over to Zarya, but it's Bryson on the Zarya and Wanston on Ashe. Usually they have Wanston playing that Zarya, and they have Bryson on DPS, so...
I'm sure if he's swapping over that character, he still has a strong look on it. Perhaps not as strong as the Zarya from Penn State, finding those massive grabs throughout the series, but they are establishing their footing. But look at this lead from the side of Bowling Green State.
Bob falls really low, though, very early. But Bold Frontman, once again, finding the pick on Zarya. Akito is getting the best of him to start the map off, but he is not letting that slide.
And this Diva is doing so well at this.
Such a good shot from Akioto on the Juno. You can see that the Sojourn perk, he got the one shot on Juno because of the buffed clock. But Kiri's able to get a pick onto him. It's just, I think, just Karma and Bob left for BGSU. See if they're able to find anything. They're stalling this card out. Really good stall from them. They get to 127 meters. That's such a big lead here.
And Bowling Green State wasting no time to swap off of that Diva into the Zarya, swapping over to the Monkey style. So they do have that Monkey with a Flex DPS and Sojourn. So he's going to be looking to play similar to how he did back on Night Market. Just quick, short engages. And Penn State predicting the comp swap and swapping back to Maga.
So they sent their tank all the way back to spawn in order to make that swap, which I don't hate, but it means that you're not getting this fight. You could have this cart probably pushed up to midpoint and still take this fight on the Zarya, and you probably still have some charge left over from the previous fight. Looks like Timmy does go down early there on the turret, but yeah, you're playing Winston double hit scan. You do like to see that on Winston, but the Maga is very scary to play into.
I love that comp swap coming out from the side of Maga. Quick Sojourn clock coming out from Bold Frontman, getting extremely aggressive with it. They actually do have the support ults to end up chasing.
His supports are not able to bail him out, though. That slide gets used so aggressively. That's your only escape on Sojourns. When you slide in, you need to find value with it. It's kind of like a Genji dash, where if you don't find value with it, you are just going to get traded. But it looks like Bowling Green's still trading out. They managed to find 2, managed to find 3. They are probably going to win this fight. Bob gets used by Wanston, trying to keep them alive in this fight, but it's not going to be enough. Bob does find Bob, though. Quite interesting there. Bob finds Bob. Looks like the Bobs are trading out. Which Bob is better? Winston might be able to find Akito. Akito almost gets bailed out by his supports there, but Quinn goes down as well. There's a really good late picture in Bowling Green. They're going to be able to get this cart moving again. Even if you don't build more meters here, it's just more distance that Penn State has to push back.
Certainly. Juno on the side of Bowling Green.
Such a good sleep nade, though, from Big Bum. Just insta-kills the Winston. Look at how much value the Ana gets. Big Bum has been having a really good series here there. Yep. So we'll see if John... I'd say he probably stays for Primal here, but you could make the swap off of the Winston now. But yeah, so there is a Juno ult and Primal on the side of Bowling Green, and they're playing into a Nano.
And as far as this fight position, Bowling Green having to take it in the mid here, which is going to be a little bit more tough versus this Maga than playing against it in that lane. A lovely early kill on that Maga.
But once
Big
again,
slam.
Bowling Green is stacking up again on a comp that really likes their angles. They keep stacking. They haven't gotten punished for it too much yet, but that right there is an example of why you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, stacking up all 5 and catching that crit Maga slam, and solid little lead back into the forward spawn here on ultimates.
You can see how much value Bryson gets out of a stomp like that. He's already 94 to ult. He just made that swap to Maga like 2 fights ago, and he already has the cage online when you're playing a comp like this. But BGSU makes the swap back to D.Va again. So looks like we are playing some counter watch right now. They don't have any ults online for BGSU. And that's such a fat nade from Big Bum. Monson is no slouch.
Early take of high ground from the Maga while they're still getting card position.
Nano gets used though, so they only have cage left in order to try to get this lead. Watson is very close to that Blossom though. Blossom cage is such a scary thing to play into. Grandsco's going to be very careful with his DM. That cage does get used earlier. They do catch the Juno. That's such a good kill. We'll see if Watson keeps aggressing with this Blossom. Bold Foulman is holding the rail, so it's very scary to do so. Grandsco is able to keep his mech alive as well. If he loses that mech, that might just been gone right there. But they're probably going to get another fight here. They can stop the lead at least. They have another shot at this. Grandsco playing very aggressively, waiting for, looks like, for the rush. But
not fighting the rush actually, but the Reaper ult and the Maga engage comes in. They are trading backlines right now, and
Grandsco finds 2 on his aggressive push with the rush there. Bold Fireman finding Theana as well, so it's just the Reaper and the Maga left. Watson finds one though. It's a 2v2 on point. Let's see who's able to win this. The E from Maga in a scrappy fight like this is so scary. 1v1 D.Va versus Maga. I think Maga does win this trade, but the respawns are coming back from Going Green. They might be able to bail the D.Va out, and they do. Bryson makes the heads-up decision to disengage. That was such good play from Grandsco. He's able to find 3 in that fight, make it a 1v1 with the Maga, stable the cart, and they are able to keep lead. However, they're probably going to get a close fight here, and Penn State still has forward spawn.
Yeah, maintaining forward spawn here is so huge for the side of Penn State. Even if you fall over here, you do have another fight. You lose any people in this fight, lose some trades, you do have them coming back to that fight on forward spawn.
Look how much of an ult advantage Bowling Green has right here. Let's see, they're going to be... Penn State is going to be very careful with their ults. Quinn finds 2! That's such a good play by Quinn, but I really hope they didn't use they used some ults here. I don't think you should have used anything. I don't think you need to use that Torbolt. You should have just waited.
Clock comes out now.
As well. Maybe they're trying to find some
trades here. This is lovely, but
Evan does find out that's a very good kill. But yeah, you would have 3 ults with this retake if you don't use that clock. And they didn't stall card at all either with it. So this is probably going to be last fight territory. There's going to be enough time for all the respawns to come back for Penn State. So this is going to be a 5v5 on point. You're probably going to want both of those DPS ults back. I don't think you need to use either of those.
Juno ult on the side of Bowling Green is going to be extremely good into this Maga cage fight. Bomb is actually going to be really solid in this fight too. So you're going to be looking to maintain this D.Va, but you don't want to let this fight draw out too long. Let them build up the rally.
Yeah, and Akihito has a clock online as well. He's been very consistent hitting headshots. The cage does get used. It looks like it traps 3. Juno comes
out from the side of Akihito.
They find the kill on Bryson. It's 5v4 on cart. Break is low. They need to find this break kill though. Break is close to Rally. Watson goes down to the sword run. Rally gets used, but it might not be enough. Well, Akihito finds one the clock. It's 3v4 on cart. Akihito has ult active. Breakbomb has ult active. Goes down though to the D.Va. Akihito finds 3 though. Akihito's doing his best to keep his team in this. It's just the Soj left. The Juno left though. It's not going to be enough. So we'll see if Doom is able to make it back. But yeah, that's just an ult advantage play there. So that was a lot of switching of tanks, a lot of trades there. Akihito did his best to keep Penn State back into this, but the D.Va into the Maga was just too much for them to deal with.
And notice the Curie adaptation paying off so well, especially with that D.Va as well. Suzu able to sustain D.Va through these hits. When she loses her DM, Suzu the D.Va has her DM back. Ana hits a nade, you Suzu it. And great adaptation there. Lovely tank swapping on both sides, like heads up swap back to the Maga once BGSU went monkey. Played it extremely well, but it did not pay off in that map, which is going to take us into a map 5.
Yep, so we will be going to Escort. One of the most important things to note there was, while we were making fun of the Weaver ban at first, you kind of get rewarded for it now, because you didn't ban anything necessarily important. So you still have that Maga ban in the tank, you have that Zarya ban in the tank, you have some other bans as well. You don't have the Ana ban anymore, which we might still want, especially for an Escort map. That's one of Ana's best map types. But, I mean, Penn State used the Ramatra ban, which Bowling Green has been very solid at. They've been really good at sustaining hits with. They won Blizzard World on it.
Are you going to play the Ramatra on most of these Escort maps?
I think if you go Shambali, it depends what Penn State goes here, but if you go Shambali, you can definitely still play the Ramatra. I don't know what they should look to ban. If you ban, have they banned Kiri yet for Penn State? That'd be such a good ban for them, I think.
That would be a great ban on the side of Penn State, and they do get first ban here after losing that map.
Yeah, so let's say they probably haven't banned Curie yet, so they have that Curie ban in the tank. I think that's a really good ban to use. They have used the Torb ban. Torb was a lot of a problem there, but you could also tell by Watson getting off that Reaper. Reaper was kind of faking a Maga. He didn't get a ton of value, and he knew that he had to go over to the Ashe. So Penn State might be regretting walking out with Watson on DPS and Bryson on tank there.
Possibly. Bryson did make some great swaps, but the Zarya did not look up to speed like it did with Wanston there.
There also might have been a counter-watch moment because of how much tank swapping we had. That might have been some of the most swapping that we've seen so far in this tournament. Because you play D.Va into the Maga, you play Zarya into the D.Va, you play Maga into the Zarya. Maga gets mashed, you have to go back to D.Va, and it's just swapping after swapping after swapping. But both teams were willing to do that, and a lot of times
And
you
they
do
were
have to
willing
make
to do that
decisions like
in
that.
this new era of Overwatch with perks too, which often tries to punish you for counter swapping, but ultimately these tank matchups are still so important that it's worth swapping off of those perks if you can find yourself a leg up.
It looks like Penn State is taking us to Escort. What a surprise. Only one map type left, so that's not too surprising. We'll see what BGSU opts to ban here. What map do you think they should ban?
If you're BGSU here, I think you have to ban Shambali, right?
No, I think you want to probably play a Shimbali because you have your Ramatra back. I guess you do play pretty well in maps with lanes, but you have what? It's Root, it's Shimbali, you have Gibraltar, and I don't remember the last map for it. Circuit. You probably don't want to play Circuit. I don't think we've seen any Circuit yet this tournament, so I don't know how comfortable the teams are. You could maybe leave Circuit open and risk that Penn State just won't go there.
It depends on the hit scans on the side. Maybe they do opt for poke, and Penn State able to pick their map here. We will see what Escort they go. Gibraltar being banned on the side of BGSU, definitely not wanting to play that full dive.
I don't know if I had a Gibraltar ban for a Winston team on my bingo card. Maybe they just aren't a Winston team. They just do it as like kind of a comfort pick into Zarya. But that does leave the Shambali open. That leaves the Circuit open. So we'll see what Penn State is feeling. Although based on the comps that they've been playing, they don't seem super comfortable maybe on like pokier comps. So I don't think we're going to see a Circuit here unless they opt for maybe they could go Circuit and maybe ban Widow away, ban Sigma away, and just try to force it to be a brawl map.
Yeah, with it being such a brawly series so far and hit skins being good on both sides, if it was taken to Circuit, could just be left up to a like Widow 1v1.
Looks like Bob was getting excited. He's activating his Scarlet Witch ult. You know that sometimes that's what you need to do. See if the hit scan Akioto, maybe he's gonna be able to find the Scarlet Witch kill. I think Akioto might be a hella player. He has some really good mechanics. He could definitely find the Scarlet Witch kill. Let's be honest. And the Torbjorn player being a Scarlet Witch player. That's not
Checks
surprising.
out.
Yeah. Maybe I was expecting more of a Squirrel Girl, you know? Maybe commit to the spam, but you know.
Boo.
Tyler's not too happy with that Squirrel Girl. We've got a Squirrel Girl one trick on our Overwatch team as well, so we're used to it.
Yeah, that guy's Grandmaster Squirrel Girl and Marvel Rivals.
That's what I've been told. I haven't seen it with my own eyes though.
Shambali is going to be the next map, map 5. In Penn State versus Bowling Green State University.
This has been such a competitive lane, by the way, so far. TTU just won 3-2 over Ohio University. Very competitive match. We're going to map 5 right now.
And
Bowling
that's
Green
just our
just
second
got
round.
out of a map 5 as well. So Bowling Green in back-to-back map 5s. This is such a competitive lane.
And that's just first and second round of losers. We aren't even into day 2 yet, and we're still having these map 5s.
Every team fighting tooth and nail to get their mark here at Queen City Clash.
Fighting for a $900 prize pool and a trophy. Are these teams going into day 2, best of 5 all through losers, best of 3 through winners, and to winners finals, which will then become a best of 5. So strong looks from several teams so far. So many teams fighting for their life in the lower bracket.
Looks like the bans do come in. The D.Va ban looks like they want to maybe opt for the Maga again. Reaper ban coming out. I don't think you need a Reaper ban again. I think Reaper's kind of a fake hero. Maybe they don't feel comfortable playing the Ramatra or the Maga into the Reaper. Watson has been getting a lot of value on him, but Torbjorn is so strong as well. So Reaper's not bad, but just based on our experience, he doesn't get a ton of value into a lot of teams.
Yeah, I do like the D.Va ban on the side of Penn State, though. Bowling Green revealing that for the first time against the Maga, and it did pay off quite well. Solid choice for a ban there.
And they also protect ban both of their tanks. So they don't have a choice to ban the Maga or the Zarya, so they can't force a certain composition. So Penn State has both of those options open throughout this map, which you're going to be really happy to have. And the main answer that Bowling Green had to the Maga was the D.Va. They didn't seem super comfortable on the Maga into the Maga because when Penn State matched the Maga, they immediately swapped the D.Va. So they don't want to take that mirror. I don't think they're probably a Maga team super comfortably. Maybe it's not Gransko's best hero. He looks really strong on the D.Va, so it makes sense that he wants to opt for that when he can. So that's such an impactful ban.
Yeah, that ban covering each one of your bases. Bans one of your counters, protects your archetype. So, compositions rolling out so far. Ramatra on the side of BGSU, we would argue that's their identity. And Bryson still on the Maga. Not much of a different look. With that Reaper being banned out, though, Winston does find himself on the Mei, leading themselves to an even brawlier style.
It's interesting. This is another new hero for Winston. We've only seen him on the Ashe and the Reaper so far, I believe. So he's showing us the Mei. We'll see how strong he is on it. He is a very good tank player, and Mei is basically a tank, has walls. you know, if you're going to the Marvel Rivals route, Groot is a tank, and that's basically May. So he might be somewhat comfortable on it. We'll see. But yeah, so they might be opting for a close hold here. It looks like they will be. Bold Fontman looking for a Widow pick, but it's probably not going to get rewarded because of the close hold. There are close one with Ana, though. That's key to note. Ana likes her longer lanes. She's not bad at something like this because if she's able to find a flank nade, that might just be fight winning. But you are really crushing her side lane. She does have a sniper rifle after all.
Bowling Green actually opening up the map versus this close hold, and this is where you struggle, but you do burn some time off of the clock and get some support all charge out of this. I don't mind that from Penn State.
But look at how quickly Bryson got poked out. You really wish that you could stay there for a little bit longer, but Akioto has this full rail. You got to be very careful. He's been very consistent with these first picks. He hits the rail onto Bob, but Bob's able to live it. He pops that Torby, but that's a big nade on Gransko. Gransko has his Nemesis form force. He's able to block, though, reducing 90% of incoming damage, so he is able to live the nade. Akioto has the rail, doesn't hit the shot quite yet. Sojourn duel coming out on the sides. Akioto's still kind of low. Wanston low as well. That's a may well used, but both fightmen might have overstepped. He saw all the cooldowns come out, trying to find a pick there, but he isn't able to live. And Penn State is doing a really good job of controlling all these angles. Look, they had the high ground that entire time. They were fighting for rooms. Akioto's doing a good job of opening up the map. So Akioto has been really consistent so far for Penn State.
Right, and they're taking away this biggest strength that is the angles into Maga here. Bowling Green opting to take the high ground as 5. You want to hope that you're having your Suzu force here, either by the Maywall or the Maga Slam, because that Onanate is always looming.
So Portal's coming up on both sides. Big Bum has the Nano almost, Karma has the Rush. I want to see them, honestly, when you see them use the Rush, they don't need it anymore. They do still commit it. I don't hate that. Akioto does find the kill onto Bob. Bold Fireman finds 2, though. He's not one to be silenced by the other Sojourn. Again, both Sojourns playing so well. They do finally
get some forward cart progress here. Nano and Mail on the side of Penn State here.
They have the Juno ult as well, and the clock.
Several ults online, actually.
Yeah. So this is a pretty. It's not. You do lose first corner, but this is not a bad spot to be in by any means. You got the rush out already.
To take the fight.
Yeah. Bowling Green needs to play this fight slowly. I think they need to play for their Juno ult. Just play to sustain this. Look, Gransko's going so aggressively with this Nemesis form. I really don't like this. I think he's using it to sustain the Maga E. I mean, they're going to try to hit after, but look at that Nano in. Akioto finds 2 back, slaps right back, and yeah, that's going to be the fight. Gransko might have been a little too aggressive, but that was just a really good play by the side of Penn State. They got that Onanade in. They nanoed their Maga in with the Juno ring. Akioto pops the clock as well, just to make sure they don't lose anything, and they are able to quickly wrap that fight up. And there's only 2 minutes left on the clock. It hasn't felt like it's been that long, but yeah, only 1:40 left for BGSU.
Yeah, and Penn State recognizing that the early Nemesis form, aggressing quite quickly afterwards.
Yeah, that's a go button right there. As soon as you see that get used, you should just run it down. Look at how many ults both sides have, though. I want to see an early cage, probably. It's probably going to get matched by the Torball. Juno ult needs to come out probably from both sides as well. Maywall used already by Wanston.
Coming out. Quick little angle being taken by Bold Fontman, but gets slept early with that clock.
Mail gets used, though. Let's see if it's able to catch anything. It looks like it might have caught the ram in the corner. No, he did such a good job of LOSing it. That's a great play by Gransko. Karma falls at 1 HP. Juno gets used. I think I tried to kite it. Maga cage gets used as well. Juno comes out. Evan finds 1. Bold Fontman pops the clock inside the cage. Gets 2 with it. May is 1 HP. That's such a good heads-up play. It costed a lot of resources. Your entire bank of ultimates had to be used aside from that Torbolt, but it's so important to cap first point here.
3-minute hold on first point is nothing to scoff at. The Maga comp is only going to get stronger on this point with limited angles to be able to be taken on this second point.
This is something we were talking about earlier, though. Look at they have 3 people on cart right now. Okay, they're finally starting to open up the map a little bit, but it feels like they're very slow to take angles with a comp like this. It's not necessarily as important because you're trying to play to burn the Maga, so it's not super important, but it is. You have Soj and Torb. They both can kind of sustain on an angle. That's a good sleep from Big Bum. He might be able to find a nail off it. No, he thinks better of it. He's gonna wait for a go button. Wanston finds the turret of Torb.
And there's the nade.
Nade gets
such a good
Suzu from Karma. Pops the rush and the Torwald immediately because they saw the aggression that was coming out. Mailwall gets used in order to try to keep their team alive. Let's see if they're able to find any picks off of this. As Juno Ring gets them out, though. Such a good disengage by Penn State. No one getting staggered there is as good of a thing you could ask for. Bold Fontman goes down. What a great shot from Wanston on the May.
And that is your ultimates out on the side of BGSU. You're going to have a Nano Maga in, probably.
Wanston misses that Maywall, though. If you're able to hit that Maywall, you might be able to get the Ramatra kill here. But look at how early Gransko is popping this Nemesis form again. He's such an aggressive player, but he's kind of stuck on his own.
They're taking a 45 right now as well.
He's almost out of this Nemesis form. He's 1 HP out, coming out of it. Quinn finds 1 with the Juno Orbs. Karma goes down, and that might not be enough now for Bowling Green. Your Juno healing is going down. Gransko goes down as well. Might have been a byproduct of how aggressively he's playing. So I think that they should be playing a little bit more to sustain the Maga hits. Maybe they want to go first. Aggression is a very important thing in Overwatch. Usually the team that goes first is the one that wins the fight, but you have to have ults to back that up. If you're going first and you're just running it down using all your cooldowns and not catching anything with it, you're really not getting rewarded for that kind of aggressive play.
And you have to have all of your players to back it up as well. Bold Fontman was just coming back from spawn as they were engaging with that Nemesis form. And taking a 45 means that Penn State does not actually have to commit any ultimates to that fight, leading to a super strong hold on this corner.
They have 5 ults this fight. Bryson might not have the cage quite yet, but they have the other 4 ults online. Akihito falls to 1 HP, though. It'd be scary if he got caught out there. Big Maywall from Watson able to find some. The May ult gets used. See if he's able to catch anything with that. Akihito has such a strong angle here. I like this kind of play. She's going for a flank here, but that's such a good disengage from BGSU. They run away, live to fight another day.
Live to fight another day, but you are fighting into that Juno ult. If you recognize that Bowling Green doesn't have it yet, you might be able to take an early engage either with the Nano or the Juno ult. The Juno ult does come out. Quick slam it in from the Morgan.
Gransko gets naded and immediately falls. Again, a big play by Big Bum. He gets traded by Karma, though. It's a good trade by Karma, but it's a 3v4, and you're going to have to disengage this. Akihito looking to find more. That's a good disengage. They just got to get out.
And we're looking at a lovely ult cycle coming out from Penn State here. Ultimates online on both sides. Arguably the most important fight of the map so far. So many ultimates on each side. It's just whoever ends up getting more value out of them here.
Yep, 3 ults to 5 is scary, certainly, for Penn State, but they do have Cage, which is a very scary ult to play into. Bob does have that Torbot online, but Big Bum has been getting so much value on this on it, despite playing into the Kiryu-Go. He's doing such a good job of finding nates consistently to the point where he can't, not every single nate can be suited. Looks like Bowling Green is trying to go first with the Surge ult. The cage gets used, traps the...
comes out as well.
Ramasha
Nana's still online, now comes out onto the Maga.
Ramasha's still fully speed. Look at how much healing is being done. Somebody else getting used. Well, finally finds one with the clock. Gransko finds one with the Annihilation. That might be enough. They're able to catch the Maga as well, and that's point. But look at how many ults they use. They use all 5 ults to cap that point. But I don't hate it. It's very important that you cap that second point. Better cap it than lose the fight.
And 0 ults online on the board anymore as well.
But Quinn and Watson are so close to theirs. They're probably going to get theirs mid-fight. So if you're BGS, you're looking probably to just play this fight slowly, right? You want to see how much progress you can get before ults come out. Maybe do a dry fight, try to get some ults out, and then go again. Good Rami from Gransko. He gets called by the Maywall, though. Walled in, pops his Nemesis. Is he able to live? That's such good healing from the side of BGSU. Support's keeping him alive again, saving the day once again. But he doesn't have his Nemesis. So that's another probably 20 seconds or so off the clock that Penn State gets. And you're getting close to last fight territory here. Look how close they are to that May ult as well. Quinn coming up. She's 80 on the Juno ult. And you have nothing to answer back with BGSU. So it's going to be a lot on Wonston now. It's based on if Wonston gets some value out of this May ult, if Quinn gets value out of this Juno ult. And they do get the kite out of it. May goes down. That's such a bad pick for the side of Penn State. They really want their Wonston alive so that they can keep that May ult. See if they're able to get anything more from the side of BGSU. Every single kill you get here is so important. It's just more progress, even harder. Look at how low Big Bum goes. Such a good shot from Boldfont, man.
Juno coming out, and it's a great Juno. Gonna catch any disengage here.
Quinn gets another one with the Juno Warps. He's so consistent with these kills. The sleep comes out onto the Ramatra. Juno's 1 HP, Soja's 1 HP. They're gonna be able to get these kills, and you only have 20 seconds left on the clock. You need to wipe this fast.
You do have the rush on your re-engage, but finding into 4 extremely good ults to brawl inside of that cage fight there.
Yeah, I think that the longer this fight goes, maybe the better it is for BGSU, though. The better it is for BGSU.
I would agree.
They're going to build up
you can
more
open
ults.
with the rush here, maybe build up your other ults with it.
And Watson still has the mail. They might they're comboing the mail with the Maga Cage and the Nano. They're trying to wipe everyone. 2 down, 3 down, 4 down, and they all fall down. There's too many ults online for the side of Penn State. Very good play. That was a lot of progress there for BGSU. If you're BGSU, you're very happy with that. You weren't able to ban away that Mago or that Zarya because of the protect ban that they did with the Diva. So you're very happy with how well you did it in that Mago with them purposely banning to try to stop you from playing well into it.
Certainly a good push, but yeah, you have 3 ults online there, but the cage plus the mail is just it. You get trapped and then frozen.
And the rush as well. Mago does so much damage in that cage with the rush. Has so much ammo. I think he gets a free reload every single time he pops his cage as well. So that's 300 bullets running into you at double speed.
Right. Very difficult to fight inside of that cage, but solid push from BGSU. This was their map 5 pick against Brookdale Community College, which they had previously played in this past round.
Yep,
so back-to-back map 5s.
Very comfortable in this Ramatra, maybe some home field advantage. Ramatra returning to his home of Nepal. Pretty comfortable on it, you know. Home field advantage. But yeah, they've been looking pretty good with the Torb and the Soj. And I think it's very important that they did ban that Reaper away. Because Watson maybe doesn't seem super comfortable in the May. He's playing pretty well, but he's missed some May walls. He's gotten picked a few times when he has had his ult. Some ice locks have been getting forced. But that May is also so scary with her perk where she gets, like, I think 70 damage in an AoE every time she pops her ice block. So it's very scary to brawl into that May skill. But I think there are some good bans on both sides.
I can definitely agree. And on the side of Penn State, the fight positions that you took were so strong. You found yourself getting so many fights on each of the 3 points, and that's how you find yourself not letting them full cap. Not a time make enough to build up ults.
I think both teams are a little stronger in terms of their compositions on the sides of the map. Maga likes to go in aggressively when you're on defense. That's very scary to do, whereas Ramatra likes to play a bit pokier, and that's good for defense, but on attack, it's kind of hard to win fights like that. So I think both teams are on a side that better fits their composition. Looks like Quinn is coming out on the Curie now. They're not playing the Ana anymore. Big Bum takes over the Juno. Quinn goes to the Curie. How do you feel about those swaps?
I do. I think on attack, Ana is going to be a whole lot more difficult than the Curie. The Curie is going to benefit from supporting the Sojourn angle in the backline, and you see Penn State just flipping the map a bit.
Here's a big difference between Penn State and BGSU. BGSU likes to 5-stack a lot. Penn State loves to open the map up. They love their Juno. Look at that. Bryson finds Bob immediately. Such good value from that angle. Akioto falls to 1 HP. Bold Fine Man trying to turn this fight around, but he is aggressing very aggressively. But look at the support that he's getting. Akioto gets so much support. That's exactly able to TP, saves it, and the Juno ult as well. Very good job from the side of Penn State with those supports. But Akioto is able to find Evan. What a good slide. And yep, that's the fight. So that's just a very heads-up play. Penn State does a very good job of opening the map up. They know what their win condition is, despite being on the Maga comp, which typically you want to kind of play as 5, play to burn the other team's tank. When you're on Sojourn like that and you're on Curie, you can really take control of these angles as well, and why not?
Well, and you aren't having to do much supporting of that Maga when he's just staying behind the cart. They're flipping the map and allowing it to push past that corner, forcing BGSU to walk into those angles that they had opened up. Super strong showing on first point so far.
And Juno Curie so much healing as well that Juno is able to just kind of take care of the Maga on her own. She doesn't really need the Curie heals as well. Watson, look again at how strong of an angle he's taking. Nemesis Storm gets popped early from Grant Sko. Karma, though, finds Juno. That's such an important pick. Suzu gets used. See if they able to wrap this up. The Bob is playing so aggressively. Akioto, though. Akioto is trying to turn this. He might be able to pop the clock here. Honestly, BGSU is losing so much HP. He has the mini. Rush gets popped. Bold Frontman finds one with the E, though. Bryson goes down. Grant Sko goes down. You're in a 4v3 now. Suzu gets used. Mayo gets used. See if there's any catch anything. Evan goes down. Clock gets used. Bob goes down. That's a lot of ults to use from the side. Bold Fightman is trying to turn this with his own clock. Looks like you only have two live left on the points. Akioto does find Karma, so now it's just Bold Fontman on his own. Grantsko comes back with the Ramatra. He's going to be able to stall this out.
Ultimate, but
he's getting burned so quickly. No, he's not going to even be able to build it. It's just Bob left. He's not going to be able to do anything. He's not going to be able to get the touch. Let's see if he's able to disengage. This is such a good stagger kill. Evan's alive as well. Hopefully he gets out on the Juno. So that's such a good fight win from Penn State. You see how much value they're getting from opening these maps up, especially in scrap like that. That was such a scary fight for them. I believe they might have gotten first pick. Yeah, the Juno went down early in that fight, and it didn't matter because they had so much map control, so many cooldowns still left,
and
so many ults left.
Note as well, just the snowballing nature there. They win first fight, so their ultimates come online first, and Penn State pops those immediately. Several ults coming up towards the end of that fight on the side of BGSU, but they were not able to use. Engage coming out from the side of BGSU.
Look at how many cooldowns they had to use, though. Maga used the E, the Maywall came out, Juno Ring came out, and Maga's still 1 HP. He's falling so fast. BGSU notices that this is a go button. They're regressing. Bold Fightman finds one, opening the fight up again.
Comes out. Juno
Karma finds the Curie diff.
Torbolt in reaction is pretty good.
But look, they used Juno ult and they used Torbolt again in a fight that they probably had won already. They use these ults so much. Maybe a little better communication necessary for the side of BGSU. They keep using ults in 5v4s, 5v3s, fights that they shouldn't lose. It's good to make sure you don't lose a fight. I don't hate maybe using one of them. Again, maybe using the Torbolt, but I don't think the Juno ult is necessary.
I see one of those ults coming out after you use the Cage ult and the Juno, but
you really don't need both, yeah. We saw them hover a Queen for a second there before they went back to the Maga, maybe just trying to get out spawn a little earlier, get this fight going again. But they do have 2 ults coming up on the side of Quinn. We do see someone taking angle for Penn State again, trying to open up the map. May has that Blizzard online, but they're kind of flipping map. Look how far back the cart is, though. They have to
win blow up this Maga early. Does not get sustained with the rush.
Yeah, rush gets used. They're still not able to keep him alive. That's such a big blow from Watson, though. Catches all 5 members of BGSU. BGSU is still sustaining, though. Look, the cart is not moving. They're still holding cart, so while there's a good job to flip the map, but they're not getting any progress off of it. Ramacha's still stalling as long as he can, has Curie healing. He needs to be careful not to let this cart go. And somehow, Karma is still alive on the point. Will he be able to live? He gets out. That's such a... Oh, yeah, he doesn't. Big Bum catches him. Doesn't let him get away with that. But look at how much time they're burning. Down to 2 minutes. I think that fight started around 3 minutes on the clock, but them just staying alive on cart got it down to 2:15.
BGSU coming back with a couple ultimates. Akioto, now with the second corner established, does have many options as far as where he wants to take this overclock, and that's going to be so important into these ults, having no defensive ult on the side of BGSU.
You do have a Curie ult, though, so you can play this pretty aggressively. It's about trying to get on top of Akioto. I think they need to run this Soldier down as fast as they can. They need to clear this angle. She does pop the clock in return. Ramatra pops his ult as well, trying to turn this fight. Look at how low Akioto is. Bold Fontman once again opens up the fight with a first pick. Grantsko finds 2 with the Ram ult, and that's such a good Ramatra ult. They're able to sustain through the clock, find the Juno, who's very scary. Or Friend Sojourner is very scary. They maybe could have tried to stagger the Curie there, but that's a very scary character to stagger.
Ultimate Economy looking pretty similar on both sides. Both of the Juno ults sitting around 70%, DPS ults sitting 60%. You do see the cage fight in the May ult coming up, so if this fight goes for a while, I'm favoring Penn State there. But you do have this cage, the Torball in reaction to the cage.
But here's another instance where they have to play into a long lane on the Maga. It's not a super long lane, but look at how close Bowling Green is playing. They're not really too scared of that Maga, it seems like. Curie's looking like maybe she might try to take an angle here. Nope, she's not going to. But that's a good ramp slow. Maga E gets forced, then Juno comes out.
That's the Juno ult out.
Big stop from Bryson. 1 HP on all of them. Those Junos were so fat, but they're still living. They're still living. Bob has the Torball online now. Bullfireman close to the clock, and Evan has his Juno ult. This is getting close.
Torball comes out, but a lovely kite from them. They do have the Mayo and the cage in line.
And Juno ring, so they can get back into this pretty quickly. That Muggy was kind of wasted though. They weren't able to get on top of anyone quite quickly enough.
Yeah, but if you can find this cage in a lovely angle looking from Akioto so far.
Again, look at that kill. Best pick possible. Bold Fireman goes down. Look at how well Penn State uses these angles. That's such a fat Mayo on a card. Look at that Suzu though. It's such a great Suzu. Evans still falls, and they use the Juno while trying to turn that fight. I mean, I guess when you see the Suzu come out and you survive the Mayo, maybe you think that it's still winnable, but it's not. The Mayo was too much.
And you might be winning that back. Penn State going to have a minute and a half, 2 minutes coming into this third point. Nice ult bank on the side of BGSU, but it is one fight territory on this third point.
You have a lot of distance to cover though. So this could be 2 fights if you play close enough on BGSU, but BGSU probably wants to play their angles, keep this map open, so it is probably going to be 1 fight. They do have that Russian line, they have the Ramatra ult online, and they have the clock online. Grant Sco has been very good with these Ramatra ults, but look at how low he's falling already. Rush gets used again.
Rush
they're
getting
using it
kited
so
immediately,
quickly.
but they do catch Winston out, which does allow them to hold this card here. I don't think this is 1 fight.
Yeah.
They might be able to make this 2 if they brawl on cart, but it's going to be a scary recontest. So if you're BGSU, you're probably wanting to play for a last fight.
And Penn State is coming up with so many ultimates abilities.
And what a May wall from Winston.
They use the Curie ult as well, and Karma goes down, Grand Sco goes down. You're going to have to get a recontest here. Your team needs to die fast. This is going to be such a scary recontest. They do have the Juno ult and the clock. It looks like they are playing to stuff spawn, and there might not be a recontest from the side of BGSU. Well, Fireman falls low.
Look at that 3 on cart.
Who's going to be the first touch? Nobody's going
to be a clock on your walkout.
I don't know if they're going to be able to get touched here, honestly. Sojourn might need to go for this. Ramatra's trying to get there. Good wall, stops the Ramatra. They are able to get a touch, but it comes at the cost of Evan's life. Clock gets used by Akieto. He's able to find Sojourn, but Bob finds the Juno. Bob does go down, though. Glanscrow goes down. It's just Karma alone, not able to clutch it on Shambali Monastery. And Penn State wins this map 3-2. BGSU gets sent home after playing 2 map 5s in a row, but man, they put up quite a fight.
They did put up quite a great fight. Penn State showing why they are the #1 seed. Being able to close it out in these clutch scenarios is why they pick up this map 5 and progress to the next round of losers bracket. BGSU putting up a great showing, but ultimately being sent home in the Queen City Clash.
They didn't come in as that high of a seed, so going that well against the 1 seed is very strong. And Penn State trying to show us that them dropping a losers bracket their first round of playing was just a fluke.
Absolutely. Great map 5. Perfect to follow up on the Brookdale versus BGSU match, but BGSU unable to close it out. Penn State, again, showing why they are the strong team in this tournament.
Yeah, so that's going to wrap it up for Queen City Clash tonight. We'll be here again tomorrow. We have 1 more. Okay, so it looks like we have 1 more match. We have 1 more round of matches. It's getting kind of late, but yeah, we have 1 more to go. So,
absolutely. What a great stream.